Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. 8N. Chapter 141. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 142 Ruchi Cave surrenders, the ninja world trembles, one more kneels for subscription. Why is it so? What kind of monster is this 5th Hokage? It clearly doesn't reach the level of 6, but the strength is so terrifying and it makes people palpitate. Single quote. His strength is definitely comparable to the 6 levels. Perceiving the trembling body. Immortal White Snake was extremely frightened in her heart. She had already lost the calmness she had just started, and she was afraid to the extreme deep in her heart. No way. It didn't expect Uchiha Ryujin to be so powerful, especially the 2 weird shocking powers and black energy, which made it too much to bear. Old Lady White Snake, you old snake are nothing more than that. Looking at the White Snake immortals who are already scared, Uchiha Ryujin's eyes must be cold and my patience is limited. If you don't know how to promote, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Single quote. 5th Hokage, you are less proud. When the White Snake heard this, he was very aggrieved and retorted that if it hadn't been suppressed by Sage of 6 Paths and let me break through to the 6th level, do you think you can beat me? Ha ha. Uchiha Ryujin shook his head gently, and said disdainfully, since being suppressed by Sage of 6 Paths, if you have the ability, you should resist Sage of 6 Paths instead of being incompetent and furious. Single quote. You. After hearing this sentence, the expression of White Snake Sage on the body of Sage transformation froze suddenly. It didn't mean that it didn't think of resisting Sage of 6 Paths, but, thinking of Sage of 6 Paths. It shrinks from its strength, and can only stay in Ruchi Cave to make compromises. Advertisement. Forget it, let's kill you. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Ryujin's cheek showed a touch of sarcasm, and said in a low voice, White Snake Fairy, your life is also a huge trouble, only death is your best destination. After this sentence, Uchiha Ryujin's eyes instantly entered Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan's mode, and a terrifying pupil power fluctuation broke out directly. And this is just the beginning. The next moment, under the control of Uchiha Ryujin, the chakra that numbs the scalp, the shocking power of awakening, and the top armament haki are entwined on 2 fists at the same time. Kawi is affected by this. That terrifying power has not yet erupted. There was already a crack visible to the naked eye in the space. Seeing Uchiha Ryujin, whose firepower has been fully fired, the White Snake Immortal is completely stupid, panicking in his heart, and fear to the extreme. Because it is very clear, if it continues like this, it will definitely die here. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Go to hell. At this time, Uchiha Ryujin didn't care about that much, and said something murderously. But, just at the very moment, the White Snake Immortal took a deep breath and said very aggrieved, wait a minute, 5th Hokage, the White Snake Immortal, are willing to surrender. Okay. Uchiha Ryujin's body stiffened, and the fist he was about to punch suddenly stopped in the air. Advertisement. I surrender, can't it work? The White Snake Immortal added a little aggrieved, your strength is very strong, I am willing to surrender to you. Wouldn't you stop resisting it? Uchiha Ryujin's expression remained unchanged, and he said, as a White Snake Fairy, you have to fight to the end symbolically. I did not resist and heard this sentence. The White Snake Fairy is about to vomit blood in anger. This FCK is still a hammer. If it continues to be hit, it will be beaten to death. Obviously it has not reached the level of the 6 realms, but it has the power comparable to the level of the 6 realms. It is simply bullying it and hitting it in the face fiercely. Besides, it also figured it out. If you admit defeat, you will give up. How much is dignity and face worth? Living is the kingly way, spit. It's really incense to be beaten to admit defeat. Okay, then spare your life. Uchiha Ryujin shook his head nonchalantly, and said in a low voice. From now on, you will be the gatekeeper of Konoha Village, who is responsible for teaching Konoha's ninjas to learn dragons. Sage mode, Ruchi Cave is the back garden of Konoha Village. Good. Immortal White Snake's snake face twitched slightly, and finally lowered the snake's head helplessly. There is nothing to say, the winner is the king and the loser is the invader. In the ninja realm, strength is the kingly way after all. I want to practice here for a while. A few seconds later, Uchiha Ryujin gave an order to the White Snake Immortal. You first announce to the ninja world that Ruchi Cave will join the surrender Konoha Village. Got it, Lord Uchiha Ryujin. Fairy White Snake nodded respectfully. Okay. Before the words fell, when the sound of breaking through the air sounded. Advertisement. Uchiha Ryujin went to the depths of Ruchi Cave to practice. Although it can't break through to the 6 levels, but absorb a lot of natural energy, it can still make one's own strength more diligently. More importantly, after Shock Fruit awakens, he still needs to adapt. The next day, Ruchi Cave, one of the 3 holy places in the ninja world, issued a statement. That is, from now on, Ruchi Cave will surrender to the 5th Hokage of Konoha Village, and will unconditionally teach it to the sage mode of Konoha Shinobi. As soon as the news came out, the ninja world, which had just been silent, once again set off a huge wave with the momentum of thunder. Countless ninjas once again showed an extremely unbelievable look on their cheeks. What are you kidding? Ruchi Cave, one of the 3 holy places, actually surrendered to Konoha Village. Is this funny again? You know. This is one of the 3 holy places. Among them, the White Snake Fairy is a legendary existence. The results of it actually surrendered to Konoha Village. Then you don't need to think about it to know that the strength of Konoha Village has become stronger again. For a while, countless small ninja villages in the ninja world were boiling, and they all began to look forward to Konoha Village invading their ninja village. As for the 4 great ninja villages, they all wanted to cry. Originally, the strength of Konoha Village was terrifying. Now Ruchi Cave, which has remained mysterious and neutral, has joined Konoha Village, which means that Konoha Village is stronger. Think about it, it's very uncomfortable. Chapter 142. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 143. The White Snake Immortal of Ruchi Cave suddenly announced his surrender to Konoha Village. Many ninja villages in the ninja world did not expect that the disturbance caused by them is also continuing to ferment. Influenced by Mount Myoboku and Wetbone Forest, both of which are one of the 3 holy sites, were also affected to some extent and fell into a passive state. At this moment, how is it possible in the temple deep in Mount Myoboku? The old snake in Ruchi Cave actually surrendered to 5th Hokage. The whole body is orange, with yellow eyes, a string of prayer beads on the neck, and the old face of the big toad sage with a doctor's hat on his head is filled with horror. The color. It never thought of it. The current 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin has grown to such a point that he has actually surrendered the White Snake Immortal of Ruchi Cave. After all, the strength of the stinky snake in Ruchi Cave is not weak. What exactly does Toad Sage and 5th Hokage want to do? Ruchi Cave surrendered to Konoha Village. Doesn't that mean that Konoha Village's strength will swell again, directly breaking the inherent balance of the ninja world? At this time, the eyes of Immortal Zima and Immortal Shen Zuo were also filled with extremely incredible colors, and they couldn't help making an uproar. No way. This news is for the Immortals Zima and Shenzuo. Just like a thunderbolt in the blue sky, what shook them was a stunned inside. Advertisement. There was a panic in my heart. 5th Hokage is growing too fast. After hearing the words of the 2, Toad Sage exclaimed in awe, if I guess right, Uchiha Ryujin now has 6 levels of combat power. What? Immortal Ji-Ma exclaimed, how could it be possible? Shen Zuo Xian Ren's expression suddenly changed, and he said inconceivably that in the ninja realm ruled by Sage of 6 Paths, besides an alien Uchiha Madara who awakens Rinnegan, there are still people who can reach the level of 6. Toad Sage's eyes condensed, and he added in a deep voice, I mean that he has not reached the 6th level, but has the strength of the 6th level. After this sentence, Immortal Shen Zuo and Immortal Ji-Ma were stunned at once, and after looking at each other, they could see the incredible colors in their respective eyes. Is this 5th Hokage a monster? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. He has not reached the 6th level, but he has the combat power of the 6th level. If he breaks through to the 6th level, wouldn't it be even more terrifying? Thinking carefully, I'm terrified. For a moment, both Shen Zuo Xian Ren and Ji-Ma Xian Ren had some scalp numbness. Wait a minute. In the next moment, Shen Zuo Shanren seemed to have thought of something, and said cautiously, would Sage of 6 Paths sit back and watch his creation of ninja being stolen by Uchiha Ryujin? Correct. Immortal Zima's eyes lit up and said, Uchiha Ryujin has grown up thoroughly, and Sage of 6 Paths will definitely suppress him. Sage of 6 Paths has its own plan and layout. Advertisement. The Great Toad Sage sighed and said slowly, Sage of 6 Paths has been in the layout for a long time. If you rush to make a move now, it is very likely that all previous efforts will be lost. Single quote. When it comes to this, Toad Sage shook his head helplessly. As the servant of Sage of 6 Paths, it knows more than the White Snake Immortal and Kusu Immortal. For example, Otsutsuki Kagaya was sent by the Otsutsuki family to plant the sacred tree on the earth, but some accidents occurred, which led to Otsutsuki Hamura killing his partner Otsutsuki, and also take the fruits of the sacred tree as your own. Sage of 6 Paths has not dared to show up all these years, it is probably because he is afraid that people from Otsutsuki's family will come to the door. Is that so? Shen Zuo Shanren and Ji-Ma Shanren didn't say anything at once when they heard the words. What else can you say? 5th Hokage has grown too fast. Since Ruchi Cave, one of the 3 holy sites, can be suppressed, it must have the ability to suppress Mount Myoboku. Once Uchiha Ryujin wants to take action on Mount Myoboku, what should Mount Myoboku do? It's funny to say, even if 5th Hokage defeated the Impure World Reincarnation's first Hokage Senju Hashirama, Shen Zuo Xian Ren and Jima Xian Ren didn't take it seriously. In their opinion, isn't it just a little 5th Hokage? What's all the fuss? Anyway, Mount Myoboku has a big toad sage, what about a hammer? The result? If 5th Hokage doesn't sound, it's already a blockbuster. After merging Rain Shinobi Village, he quickly attacked Ruchi Cave, one of the 3 holy sites, and the White Snake Fairy surrendered. The big toad sage waved his hand side and side. We Mount Myoboku has always been in the Sage of Six Paths camp, so we can only take a step and take a look. As long as Sage of Six Paths does not appear, Uchiha Ryujin definitely don't dare to do it to us Mount Myoboku. Yes it is. Toad Sage, I see. Advertisement. Immortal Shen Zuo and Immortal Jima looked a little uncomfortable, and nodded indiscriminately. Once upon a time, what a scenery Mount Myoboku was. Unexpectedly, now Uchiha Ryujin has threatened the balance of the ninja world, possessing the power to destroy Mount Myoboku. At the same moment, the Wet Bone Forest. In the deepest temple. The Tien Shushan Ren, who has not been moving, suddenly burst out a majestic chakra wave. Ruchi Cave was actually suppressed. There was a ray of surprise in the eyes of the immortal. For Uchiha Ryujin, it knew it, but it didn't expect that 2.3 Uchiha Ryujin would be so violent and suppressed Ruchi Cave at a disagreement. Now Ruchi Cave has surrendered to Konoha Village, think about it, there are some shame. Immortal White Snake, didn't you expect you to have today? Immortal Tien Shu took a deep breath and murmured to himself, Sage of Six Paths is still continuing to observe in secret, that the world of ninja is getting more and more uneven. It looks like I'm going to a different space to sit and watch the wind and clouds rise. Accompanied by a spatial fluctuation. In a flash, the fairy body disappeared in the Wet Bone Forest. Of course. Fortunately, in the Wet Bone Forest, there is only one person. Otherwise, the immortal will have to drag his family away from Ruchi Cave. Chapter 143. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 144 Believe in Lord Madara, have eternal life, 3 watchers kneel for subscription. Ninja World, Odonan Village. Under the ground in the central area, a gloomy cold laboratory. Master Orochimaru, Impure World Reincarnation has been almost optimized. Yakushi Kabuto took a record experiment scroll and said carefully, the purity of Impure World Reincarnation has now been optimized to almost 80%. Single quote. Orochimaru smiled evilly, glanced at the corpse of White Zetsu right in front, and said coldly, Impure World Reincarnation is almost optimized, let's study this corpse. Okay. A gleam of light flashed in the eyes under Yakushi Kabuto's glasses, holding a few experimental scalpels, he bowed his head and walked towards the body of White Zetsu. Unexpectedly, even the White Snake Fairy of Ruchi Cave was beaten by 5th Hokage to surrender. A flash of horror flashed in Orochimaru's eyes, and he said in a deep voice, 10,000 snakes seemed to have been killed, and it took time to find another summoning beast. Single quote. 5th generation Mu-29 Hokage, how strong is Uchiha Ryujin? When I thought of this, Orochimaru couldn't help but numb his scalp. He was very clear about the strength of Ruchi Cave, especially the strength of Toad Sage, the result. The immortal White Snake, who was superior and invincible in his heart, was actually suppressed. I can only say that 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is too abnormal and unmatched. Has Ruchi Cave surrendered? After hearing these words, Yakushi Kabuto's body paused for a while. These days. Advertisement. He had been in the laboratory and didn't know the specific situation of the shinobi world. Now it seemed that the situation was much more serious than he thought. Even Ruchi Cave, one of the 3 holy sites, was beaten and surrendered. Shit. But at this moment, accompanied by a burst of vortex-shaped spatial fluctuations, I saw the masked men Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara appeared in the laboratory. You come. Seeing Uchiha Obito, Orochimaru regained consciousness and couldn't help grinning. Unfortunately, before he finished speaking, Orochimaru seemed to have seen something terrible, and his expression froze instantly. Maybe it was too horrified. The breath of Orochimaru couldn't help but let out. Lord Orochimaru. Perceiving Orochimaru's breath fluctuating violently, Yakushi Kabuto frowned and glanced at the man standing next to Uchiha Obito with some confusion. Boom. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The moment he saw that man, Yakushi Kabuto stiffened and felt. There was a constant buzzing in my mind, and my mind was blank. Uchiha Madara. A few seconds later, Orochimaru took a deep breath, suppressed the throbbing in his heart, and looked at the man wearing a black tight-fitting combat suit with red laminated armor on the outside, and said with extreme horror, how did you come back to life? Shocked, extremely shocked, Orochimaru never thought that he would be here and see the legendary man. As one of the 3 ninjas, he certainly knows the legend of Uchiha Madara, and he has also seen the stone statue of Uchiha Madara in the Valley of the End. Advertisement. So, it's almost a glance. He knew that the man next to the masked man was Uchiha Madara. Are you Orochimaru? Uchiha Madara didn't mean to answer. He glanced at Orochimaru, who was frightened and stunned, and said something calmly, with an amazing haki in his words. Yes, it is. Orochimaru nodded stiffly. How about impure world reincarnation research? Uchiha Madara's Rinnegan looked straight at Orochimaru and spoke slowly, with a hint of command in his voice. Already almost. Hearing these words, Orochimaru's heart was a bit uncomfortable, but, thinking of the terrible man in front of him, he told him that through impure world reincarnation, the resurrected person can have 80% of the strength of his lifetime. Not enough. Uchiha Madara stood with his hand, without a doubt, continue to optimize, too. At least 95%. Yes. This time I came to Otonin village to find Orochimaru for impure world reincarnation. As for why, of course, it was because the White Snake Immortal of Ruchi Cave surrendered to Uchiha Ryujin and stimulated the proud son of heaven Uchiha Madara. What is not enough? Orochimaru was a little dumbfounded, and couldn't help refuting that impure world reincarnation was not so well optimized. Now that it is optimized to 80%, it is already my limit. If you really want to be so tough, we don't need to cooperate. When it comes to this, Orochimaru is getting a little angry. Anyway, he is also one of the 3 ninjas. When has he been so suffocated? Advertisement. What did you say? A cold color flashed in Uchiha Madara's Rinnegan. Boom. In the next moment, there was no sign. Orochimaru was overwhelmed by an overbearing pupil power that despised everything. This. In an instant, Orochimaru's expression turned pale, and his mind trembled, as if even his soul was suppressed. No way. 013. It is really terrible that this momentum is mixed with pupil power. Okay. I promise you. In such a situation, Orochimaru was pale and compromised after just holding on for a few seconds. Too weak. Uchiha Madara said calmly, your soul is too weak. Once you encounter a master illusionist, it can instantly kill you. Lord Uchiha Madara, Orochimaru made his soul vulnerable because of the forbidden technique living corpse reincarnation. Masked man Uchiha Obito whispered. Don't worry, do things for me, I will make you live forever. Let's go. Hey. After this sentence, a vortex-shaped spatial fluctuation is produced. The masked men Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara disappeared in the laboratory. Boom. At the moment the two left, Yakushi Kabuto's body fell to the ground, breathing heavily, and Orochimaru was not much better. His body stiffened for a while, and a lot of cold sweat appeared on his forehead, as if he had been taken out of the water. Chapter 144. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 145 Hyuga Hinata disappears, one more kneels for subscription. Lord Orochimaru, how did he come back to life? I don't know how long it took before Yakushi Kabuto, who fell on the ground, slowly recovered, and said with a horror that he was definitely not resurrected through impure world reincarnation. Uchiha Madara is really terrible. It should be Rinnegan's ability. Hearing these words, Orochimaru took a deep breath, suppressed the throbbing in his heart, and said solemnly, it seems that Nagato is dead, Uchiha Madara is resurrected, and the ninja world is about to set off a huge wave. Single quote. Isn't it to deal with 5th Hokage? Yakushi Kabuto slowly got up from the ground and said subconsciously. It must be to deal with 5th Hokage. A chilly color flashed in Orochimaru's snake eyes, and he said in a deep voice, Uchiha Ryujin grew too fast, especially after Ruchi Cave surrendered and gave up. There was a taste of the ninja world. Perhaps only the legendary Uchiha Madara can hold it down. After saying this sentence, Orochimaru slowly wiped the cold sweat on his forehead, shook his head evilly, and said, let's trust Uchiha Madara first and continue to optimize impure world reincarnation. Yes. Yakushi Kabuto swallowed and nodded respectfully. Okay. You get started. A cold color flashed in Orochimaru's deep eyes, and he muttered to himself, Uchiha Madara has appeared, and the ninja world is getting more and more interesting. Maybe we can take a good look at a ninja drama. At the same moment, Konoha village. But something big happened to the Hyuga clan. That was the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan family. Hyuga Hinata mysteriously disappeared. Yes, it just disappeared. At first, the Hyuga clan thought where Hyuga Hinata went to play, and didn't care much, but simply sent someone to look for it. As a result, I found that I searched Konoha village, but did not find Hyuga Hinata. In an instant. Advertisement. The Hyuga clan shook, joking. Someone dared to hit the idea of the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan, it was purely seeking death. You must know that after 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin took the position, the support for the major families was increased, making the Hyuga family much stronger than the original. Based on, the Hyuga clan was fully fired in an instant. A large number of ninjas of the Hyuga clan were sent to find Hyuga Hinata. Unfortunately, There was a lot of noise, but no clues about Hyuga Hinata were found. For a moment, the Hyuga clan realized something was wrong. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. In the end, Hyuga Hiyashi, the patriarch of the Hyuga clan, came forward in person and sought the help of Konoha Village. Konoha's high-level Hokage assistant Tsunade did not hesitate after learning about Hyuga Hinata's mysterious disappearance. He ordered the Anbu, Uchiha, Nara and other families to cooperate with the Hyuga family to find Hyuga Hinata. The scope of the search has also spread from Konoha Village to the Country of Fire, to the other 4 great countries, and even the entire ninja world. However, still has no effect. Hyuga Hinata disappeared from the ninja world out of thin air, leaving no clues. Influenced by advertisement, Konoha Village, which was already in full swing, was as if it was broken by a scoop of cold water and plunged into an invisible panic. After all, even the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hinata, can disappear out of thin air. The safety of Konoha Village is a big problem. Among them, Hyuga Hiyashi, the patriarch of the Hyuga clan, is the most disturbed, because daughter Hyuga Hinata disappeared out of thin air. Invisibly, he had an ominous premonition, as if some force was targeting the Hyuga clan. Fortunately, just when the atmosphere in Konoha Village is not right, a good news came out that 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin returned from practicing in Ruchi Cave. At this moment, in a meeting room on the top floor of the Naruto building, Uchiha Ryujin, Tsunade, Hyuga Hiyashi, Uchiha Fugaku, Naraluku and others who have just returned are here. Lord 5th Hokage, you can help us Hyuga clan spoon. Hyuga Hiyashi said with a sad face. Hyuga Hinata was only 8 years old, who was so desolate that she actually hit her idea. Is there no clue? Uchiha Ryujin frowned and said something inexplicably. It stands to reason that no one in the ninja world would dare to do something to the Hyuga clan. Lord 5th Hokage, there is no clue. Hyuga Hiyashi shook his head with a sad expression on his face, and gritted his teeth and said, I will not let Hyuga Hinata let go no matter who it is. Advertisement. Lord 5th Hokage, there is really no clue. We secretly sent someone to the 4 ninja villages to inquire, but we didn't get any useful information. It is incredible that Hyuga Hinata can disappear from Konoha Village out of thin air. After this sentence, Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Naraluji and others showed their doubts in no particular order. Obviously, I don't understand, who can make Hyuga Hinata disappear silently from Konoha Village, leaving no clues. Is that so? Uchiha Ryujin frowned and fell silent. This time, after cultivating from Ruchi Cave, he originally wanted to start collecting tail beasts. By the way, let the other 4 ninja villages experience Kamui of 5th Hokage, Zhao Qian's. But Hyuga Hinata disappeared out of thin air. For 58 years in Konoha Village. In the original work, this is a plot that does not exist at all. That means that the butterfly effect caused by his birth turned out to have begun to change the plot on a large scale. Now 4th generation ninja village is developing wretchedly, so it must be afraid to do it against Hyuga Hinata. Akatsuki is dead in name. It is impossible. As for Uchiha Obito and Black Zetsu, there is no reason to do it against Hyuga Hinata. Therefore, the only possibility is that the Ootsuki clan on the moon has started. Hyuga Hinata should be pure on the moon. Now that he had an idea, Uchiha Ryujin's mouth curled up slightly and said something surprisingly. Chapter 145. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 146 Breaking Through the 6 Paths of Ambition. What? On the moon? Is there anyone on the moon? How did Hyuga Hinata get to the moon? Impossible. Who would live on the moon? 5th Hokage, you can't be mistaken. Upon hearing this sentence, Tsunade, Hyuga Hiyashi, Uchiha Fugaku, Naraluku and others were stunned in no particular order. They thought of many possibilities, but they did not expect that Hyuga Hinata was actually not on the earth, but was man-caught on the moon. Thinking about it, there is something incredible, it should be on the moon. Uchiha Ryujin Yun shook his head lightly and said quietly, telling you the truth, the Hyuga clan is actually a descendant of Otsutsuki Hamura, so this time it was the Otsutsuki clan on the moon. The voice hasn't fallen yet. Hyuga Hiyashi's mind was shocked, and the whole person was stunned. How could it be possible? It was actually the Otsutsuki family who made the shot. As for the origin of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hiyashi knew a little bit through some books, but did not expect that the Otsutsuki clan would actually take Hyuga Hinata away. This is undoubtedly an incredible thing. Otsutsuki Hamura. There is also a family of Otsutsuki on the moon. This is too magical 570 illusion. Advertisement. The cheeks of Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Nara Shikuhisa and others all appeared surprised. It seemed that things were not as simple as imagined. Hyuga Hiyashi, why did the Otsutsuki clan take Hyuga Hinata? The next moment, Uchiha Fugaku frowned and asked in a meaningful way. I also didn't listen to this sentence. Just when Hyuga Hiyashi wanted to say that he didn't know. As if thinking of something, the sound stopped abruptly, and the whole thing froze in the seat. No way. If he remembers correctly, the Ootsuki clan came for the Byakugan of Hyuga Hinata. As the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan, the Byakugan of Hyuga Hinata is extremely pure. This may be the main reason why the Ootsuki clan abducted Hyuga Hinata. Lord 5th Hokage, save Hinata. Boom. Accompanied by the sound of tapping the table, Uchiha Fugaku's face turned pale, and his voice trembling said, the Ootsuki clan took Hinata abducted. It must be for her Byakugan. If you don't save her, it will be dead. Yes, you are right. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Uchiha Ryujin's eyes must be nodded very calmly, and said, the Ootsuki clan took Hinata abducted for her Byakugan, because her Byakugan is extremely pure and is the best choice for awakening Tenseigan. Tenseigan. Hearing this strange term, Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Naruto and other Konoha seniors are all speechless. People are more popular than others. This time the meeting was held, they felt like they had never seen the world. They didn't know what 5th Hokage said. Is it to awaken Tenseigan? Advertisement. Hyuga Hiyashi slumped on the chair in despair. Somehow, when he thought of what would happen to Hyuga Hinata, he felt a painful rash inside him. All right. Looking at the painful Hyuga Hiyashi, Uchiha Ryujin chuckled and stood up, saying, I will go to the moon right away. After all, Hyuga Hinata is a ninja in Konoha village, but not everyone can be taken away. Even the ancestors of the Hyuga clan Otsutsuki Hamura is still alive, I will not give him any face. Of course, Uchiha Ryujin didn't say one more thing, that's how did he break through to the 6th level. When he was practicing in Ruchi Cave, he felt that his cultivation had reached a bottleneck. This kind of feeling, CJFH, felt that after reaching the world of forbearance, the feeling became stronger. Invisibly, it seemed that there was some power that was suppressing him fiercely. Now it's time to go to the moon and swallow the huge Tenseigan. It should be able to reach the 6th level. Okay, Lord 5th Hokage. After hearing this sentence, Hyuga Hiyashi showed excitement. Lord 5th Hokage, you have to be careful. Tsunade hesitated for a while, just slightly. With a serious addition, how about I go to the moon with you? No need. Uchiha Ryujin waved his hand and said with a chuckle, a small moon, still can't trouble me. Okay then. Advertisement. Tsunade shrugged and didn't say much. The meeting adjourned. Seeing that everyone had nothing to say, Uchiha Ryujin simply ordered that you are ready in Konoha village. After I return from the moon, I will start to collect the remaining 5 beasts, and by the way, unify the ninja world. Single quote. Yes, Lord 5th Hokage. Got it. We will go into battle. Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Naruto, Hyuga Hiyashi and others all nodded respectfully when they heard this, and then got up and left the meeting room. The Ootsuki clan, I actually don't want to do it to you, but, you dare to take the lead in doing it. After Tsunade and others left, Uchiha Ryujin's deep Sharingan flashed a few cold colors, picked up the teacup, and drank happily. There is nothing to say, since the Ootsuki clan does not give him face, why should he be merciful? Ding. Congratulations to host, the sign in location of the system has been refreshed, please check. What, has it been refreshed? Listening to the system's mechanical prompts, Uchiha Ryujin silently ordered a little surprised, System, I want to look at the properties panel. Quickly. After a quick glance, Uchiha Ryujin saw that the sign in location refreshed on the property panel was the moon, not activated, as this letting me dominate the moon. Looking at the 3 characters inactive, Uchiha Ryujin nodded thoughtfully, just as he was going to the moon to save Hyuga Hinata, then he would rule the moon by the way and sign in once. Chapter 146. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 147. Moon. On a floating island, an ancient and luxurious palace stands. Father, this is Princess Byakugan. Inside the palace, I saw a child with hollow eyes, who seemed to perceive something, and said with some surprise, I really like the breath on her, can I just dig her eyes? Accompanied by the sound of a face slap. I saw a red paw print on the child's cheek. Do you know what else you are talking about? Only after seeing a man with pure white eyes and silver hair slap the child, he said coldly, as the descendants of the Ootsuki clan, the main purpose of our existence is to follow the ancestors' will and eliminate Sage. The failed world created by 6 paths. Single quote. Do you understand? After saying this, Otsutsuki's expression was distorted. Yes. He is the culprit who kidnapped Hyuga Hinata. As the last descendant of the branch house of the Otsutsuki clan, Otsutsuki Saturn has been secretly observing the ninja world founded by Sage of 6 paths over the years. Among them, after the Geto statue was summoned to the ninja world, Otsutsuki Satan knew that the world created by Sage of 6 paths had failed. For this reason, He also discussed with the people of the Ootsuki clan to destroy the humanity of the world created by Sage of Six Paths. The results of it. The members of the clan actually disagree and advocate peace. Advertisement. This made Ootsuki Shishin unbearable, so he led the branch house to wipe out the clansmen who advocated peace at that time, collected a large amount of Byakugan, and made a huge Tenseigan. As for why Hyuga Hinata was captured, of course, his son had no eyeballs and could only go to the Hyuga clan to find Byakugan with high purity. I don't understand. After being slapped, Ootsuki slapped his small fist and retorted that there are only two of us on the moon. If you die, there will be only me. How do you let me pass on? Single quote. Ootsuki Shadden's expression changed a little, and he stretched out his palm, and wanted to slap Shadden again. This really unfilial son actually started to curse him to death. Are you fighting? Anyway, Mom, Grandpa, and Grandma were all killed by you. Kill me if you have the ability. Perceiving this scene, Ootsuki Sharon gritted his teeth very stubbornly and stretched his head, feeling quite a rebellious teenager. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It is good. In the end, Ootsuki gave a glance at Hyuga Hinata, who was trapped in illusion, and said with a cold expression, I will not kill her. The Hyuga clan also has a pair of Byakugan with extremely high purity. When the little girl is a little older, I will go to her. Come on. The earth will not be destroyed. Ootsuki looked happy and asked cautiously. Don't destroy it anymore. Ootsuki Shishin's eyes were cold, and he said in a deep voice. The timing is not yet ripe. One day, I will destroy the failed world created by Sage of Six Paths. Then send her back. Ootsuki felt the breath on Hyuga Hinata's body, and said slowly, on the moon, after she woke up, she would be frightened to death. Good. Advertisement. Ootsuki Satan nodded indifferently. The next moment. Accompanied by a strange energy fluctuation. I saw that a huge humanoid robot puppet seemed to be under control and walked straight towards Hyuga Hinata. But, just when the humanoid robot puppet is about to approach Hyuga Hinata, bang! A sound of bursting air sounded. Before both Ootsuki Shedden and Ootsuki Sharon hadn't reacted yet, the white energy of Dao Ying bombarded out and hit the humanoid robot puppet at an extremely fast speed, directly smashing it to pieces. Who is it? With a sound of breaking through the sky, the look of Ootsuki Yaden suddenly changed with hindsight, and before he could hesitate, he held Ootsuki Yaden and stepped back dozens of steps. Sure enough here. After entering the palace, Uchiha Ryujin didn't even look at Ootsuki Shishin. He hugged Hyuga Hinata, who was about 8 years old, lying on the ground. Seeking flowers. 5th Hokage. Seeing Hyuga Hinata being held by Uchiha Ryujin, Ootsuki Shishin gritted his teeth and said, You dare to come to the moon. Although always on the moon. But, does not mean that Ootsuki Shedden doesn't understand the earth at all. Through some puppets, he also collected some information on the earth. The man in front of him in the Hokage royal robe was the object of his observation. Why not dare? Advertisement. Uchiha Ryujin glanced at Ootsuki with a look like an idiot, and sarcastically said that the Ootsuki clan on the moon was killed by your branch house. It's cool, right? Impossible. Hearing these words, Ootsuki's expression became stiff, his eyes widened, and he said in disbelief, How do you know the mission of the Ootsuki clan? Ha ha. Uchiha Ryujin showed a hint of sarcasm and said, I not only know the mixin of the Ootsuki clan, but also know that you caught Hyuga Hinata for your son. The blind man behind you, he should be called Ootsuki Sharon. To shut up. Ootsuki snarled in anger, that my son is not a blind man. One day, my son will destroy the ninja world by himself. Ha ha ha. Uchiha Ryujin laughed and teased that, for the huge Tenseigan, you took out your son's Byakugan, and still have the face to say these things. You are just a dog for selfish desire. You. Hearing these words, Ootsuki Shadden's heart trembled, and his whole body was constantly trembling with anger. He did not expect. This guy in front of him even knew the huge Tenseigan. Of course, at the last moment of making the huge Tenseigan, there was just one Byakugan, so in desperation, he dug up his son's Byakugan by himself. Now that he was hit face to face, Ootsuki Satan was broken, and he was extremely angry. Chapter 147. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 148 Huge Tenseigan, one more kneels for subscription. Anger. The heart is extremely angry. Looking at Uchiha Ryujin in front of him, the chakra on Ootsuki Shishin's body fluctuated violently, and the monstrous killing intent swept out without concealment. Ha ha. Perceiving this killing intent, Uchiha Ryujin shook his head disdainfully, and said coldly, Are you angry? Even your own son can be ruthless, you are really inferior to a pig or dog. To shut up. Ootsuki Shishin took a deep breath and roared fiercely. All I did was in accordance with the ancestors' will, not what you said. Father, is this true? At this time, Ootsuki Sharon shook his head in despair, and muttered to himself, "You turned my eyes off, why did you lie to me? It turns out that I am not a congenital blind son, but my father personally dug Byakugan." Boom. Maybe some can't accept it. Otsutsuki's body trembled a few times, and he collapsed on the ground. No way. He didn't think about it. His eyes were cut out by his father, whom he admired the most. Sharon, you must not believe him. Advertisement. Otsutsuki Shishin's eyes moved, and said coldly, "I dig your white eyes are for huge Tenseigan, as for your eyes, I planned it a long time ago. As long as you transplant the extremely pure Byakugan into your eye sockets, with the blood energy of our Otsutsuki clan, you can awaken the legendary Tenseigan." Really? Uchiha Sharon was crying and murmured to himself, "It turns out that you, father, is for me to have Tenseigan. I'm sorry, I blamed you. Don't worry, you can understand it." Single quote. At the next moment, a wisp of killing intent appeared in Otsutsuki Shishin's eyes, and he said coldly, "You should go away first, and wait for me to kill the natives from this earth, and then give you a good explanation." Okay. Otsutsuki Sharon quickly got up from the ground and glared at Uchiha Ryujin fiercely with his eyeless eyes, and said, "Hurry up and put Hyuga Hinata down. He is the girl I like." Single quote. Get out. After hearing these words, Uchiha Ryujin's expression became cold, and he glanced at Sharon with a look that looked like an ant, and he scolded, "What are you worthy of talking to me?" The voice hasn't fallen yet. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Conqueror's Haki, who is not suppressed, swept out of Uchiha Ryujin's body with a force of destruction, and swept out in all directions. Now Uchiha Ryujin's Conqueror's Haki is so terrifying under full firepower, it's almost instantaneous. There were wisps of cracks visible to the naked eye in the palace, and it became shaky. As for the Otsutsuki Sharon of the instigator, he didn't even react yet, and felt that his head buzzed and exploded, and he was completely blank. Pouch may be mentally injured. Otsutsuki Sharon couldn't help but vomited a big mouthful of blood, and then he completely lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Is this momentum? And perceiving this momentum, Otsutsuki Sharon was shocked, but even more incredible, because even he couldn't make the air burst with his aura, the ground trembled, and the palace even appeared cracks and became shaky. Advertisement. But don't care. After seeing that his son was vomiting blood and fainted, Otsutsuki stunned for a moment. Without any hesitation, he hugged Sharon in his arms and flew away. He is not a fool. Judging from the terrifying aura displayed by Uchiha Ryujin, he cannot win without Tenseigan. Do you want to run? Shoo! Accompanied by a sound of breaking through the air. Uchiha Ryujin hugged Hyuga Hinata and turned into an afterimage, and followed. And when he left the palace, the ancient and luxurious palace collapsed in a deafening sound. At the same moment, Otsutsuki Sharon hugged Otsutsuki Sharon and appeared in an empty square. Why? Don't you run away. Huh. There was a sound of breaking through the air. Uchiha Ryujin's body also appeared in the square, and he said something lightly. I can't run. There is a crazy color in Otsutsuki Shishin's eyes, and he said coldly, Fifth Hokage, you are indeed very strong, but, when you come to the moon, you are looking for a dead end. Come out. Huge Tenseigan. In the next moment, Otsutsuki Shishin's hands quickly formed seals, and in the surging of chakra, it seemed to appear out of thin air. A huge Tenseigan was suspended in the center of the square. Boom. At the moment when the giant Tenseigan appeared, the terrifying pupil power fluctuations enveloped the entire moon with a devastating force, and the terrifying power even made the moon tremble. Advertisement. Has it finally appeared? Looking at the huge Tenseigan in front of you. A ray of excitement appeared in Uchiha Ryujin's eyes. In fact, with his strength, he could kill Otsutsuki Saturn without Tenseigan in seconds, but he did not do so. As for the reason, of course he did not perceive the existence of the giant Tenseigan on the moon. It now appears that the huge Tenseigan was hidden by the Otsutsuki clan using secret techniques. Hinata, stop pretending. After a few seconds, Uchiha Ryujin seemed to perceive something, so he patted Hinata on the back and chuckled. When you wake up, let's watch the show. Ah. Upon hearing this sentence, Hyuga Hinata, who was pretending to be asleep, immediately flushed his cheeks. After carefully opening Byakugan 2.7, he said shyly, Lord Fifth Hokage, thank you for saving me. It's okay. Glancing at Hyuga Hinata, who was like a little sheep, Uchiha Ryujin smiled and said quietly. After returning to Konoha village, you must be obedient. Got it. Hyuga Hinata blushed in Uchiha Ryujin's arms, making a sound like a mosquito. It is good. Seeing Hyuga Hinata's shy look, Uchiha Ryujin put her on the ground and said, you can see how I clean up the villain who kidnapped you. Hey. Hyuga Hinata stood on the ground awkwardly and nodded playfully. Chapter 148. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 149 The opportunity to absorb the huge Tenseigan and break through the 6 levels, 2 more kneels for subscription. Ha 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 ha. At this time, looking at the huge Tenseigan floating in the square, Otsutsuki Satin laughed coldly, and a triumphant look flashed through the pair of Byakugans, saying, "You still want to clean up me, it's just a foolish dream. I will avenge you." After saying this, Otsutsuki Shedden put the Otsutsuki Sharon, who was in a coma in her arms, on the ground, saying, "When I cleaned up the 5th Hokage, I took you to the earth and slaughtered Konoha Village." Single quote. Want to slaughter Konoha Village, have you asked me? Uchiha Ryujin's face was cold, his mind moved, and the suffocating conqueror's haki burst out again. Boom. The horrible momentum swept out once again. Perhaps it was too terrifying, causing the entire moon to tremble slightly. The momentum seems stronger than before. Sensing this majestic aura and coercion, Otsutsuki Satin's Byakugan shrank abruptly. 31 However, thinking of the huge Tenseigan in the square, Otsutsuki Satin was relieved, and a look of pride emerged unconsciously in his heart. Yes, Uchiha Ryujin is very strong. In the ninja realm, he can be called solo, invincible under the 6 realms. Advertisement. But, so what? He has a huge Tenseigan that only the Otsutsuki clan can control. Isn't it trivial to destroy the world? Go to hell. In the next moment, the confident Otsutsuki Shedden burst out a chakra fluctuation unique to the Otsutsuki clan, causing the huge Tenseigan to explode without any signs. Boom. In an instant, the huge Tenseigan burst out with a green energy aura and suddenly enveloped Uchiha Ryujin. This feeling, perceiving the green energy pulling chakra from his body, Uchiha Ryujin frowned. When he was about to urge chakra of Sage Body to resist, the cold voice of the system machinery suddenly sounded. Ding. Congratulations to the host, who mobilized the legendary giant Tenseigan and met the hidden conditions for signing in on the moon. Do you sign in on the moon? Can you sign in? After listening to the system's prompt, Uchiha Ryujin gave a quiet and neat command to the system, and immediately sign in on the moon. Single quote. 1 second and 10 seconds. 30 seconds is very fast. After 1 minute, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The clear prompt sound of the system finally sounded. Ding. Congratulations to host, you have met the hidden sign in conditions and successfully signed in at the sign in location refreshed by the system the moon. Single quote. Ding. Congratulations to the host. I got an experience card that can absorb the huge Tenseigan without damage. Ding. The reward has been distributed to the system space, and the host can check it at any time. Once you use the experience card, you can absorb the energy of the huge Tenseigan and use it for your own use, thereby completely breaking the confinement of Sage of 6 paths to the ninja world and reaching the 6 levels. No way. As soon as the system prompt fell off, Uchiha Ryujin was shocked. What did he really say? He was still thinking about how to absorb the pupil power of the huge Tenseigan. He still wondered how to break through the 6 levels. The result: the system gave him an experience that can absorb the huge Tenseigan without damage. 1 card. Advertisement. Once you use this experience card, doesn't it mean that the huge Tenseigan that the Otsutsuki clan finally made has become a stepping stone for his breakthrough? 5th Hokage, you are really looking for death. At this time, watching Uchiha Ryujin shrouded in the power of the huge Tenseigan, Otsutsuki Satin laughed triumphantly. Without the blood of the Otsutsuki clan, he dared to get so close to the huge Tenseigan. If you don't die, it's really intolerable, is it? After the sign-in was successful, Uchiha Ryujin showed a cold look on his face, and said in a low voice, "Otsutsuki Satin, I will accept your huge Tenseigan." What? Otsutsuki Satin obviously has some reaction, of course. You don't have to wait for him to react. I saw a scene that he didn't even understand until he died. I saw that the huge Tenseigan that was absorbing chakra in Uchiha Ryujin's body suddenly started to run away uncontrollably. Immediately after, a torrent of huge Tenseigan power poured into Uchiha Ryujin's body like a torrential river. Yes, it's like giving back. The huge energy of Tenseigan entered Uchiha Ryujin's body without money. How can it be? With hindsight, Otsutsuki Shishin's eyes widened, he was like a ghost, completely stupefied. Advertisement. In the next instant, he wanted to use his blood of the Otsutsuki clan to control the giant Tenseigan, but there was no use for eggs, and the giant Tenseigan was not under his control at all. Based on this, Otsutsuki Satin could only watch the power on the huge Tenseigan gradually weaken. 5th Hokage, you will explode and die. This is something of our Otsutsuki clan, and the ancestors of the Otsutsuki clan will not let you go. Stop absorbing it, please stop absorbing it. 660. For a while, uncomfortable, aggrieved, and helpless emotions interweaved in Otsutsuki's heart, but in the end he could only make a frantic voice of incompetence and rage. However, there is no use for eggs. After the power of the huge Tenseigan kept pouring into Uchiha Ryujin's body, there was an earth-shaking change in Uchiha Ryujin's body. With chakra, the power of the huge Tenseigan, the power of the top armament Haki, the power of eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and the power of the awakened shock fruit, the 5 terrifying powers. When these 5 most terrifying forces continue to interweave and merge, Uchiha Ryujin's momentum has become more shocking and heart-palpitating. Even Otsutsuki's scalp is numb. Terrible, terrible. At this moment, the Otsutsuki she is innocently about to cry. FCK, this huge Tenseigan is the secret weapon of the Otsutsuki clan. But, just revealed it. I was absorbed by this monster like 5th Hokage. Chapter 149. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 156 Levels. Kill everything in seconds, 1 more kneels for subscription. What happened? At this moment, seeing Master 5th Hokage was absorbing the huge Tenseigan's pupil power, Hyuga Hinata's thumping heart suddenly calmed down, and there was a dull look in his eyes. She obviously did not expect that Lord 5th Hokage would be so violent. Actually doing the opposite, absorbing the energy of this huge Tenseigan on the moon. No. Absolutely impossible. As time passed, Otsutsuki Shiden still couldn't believe it. He could only stare blankly at the huge Tenseigan that gradually lost its vitality and power in the square. He still couldn't figure out why this happened. Why is the huge Tenseigan out of control? Puff. Maybe it was too angry and aggrieved. Otsutsuki vomited a mouthful of blood from the weather, and suddenly became a little languid. In the meantime, accompanied by a terrifying pupil power fluctuation, Uchiha Ryujin's Sharingan instantly entered the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan mode, and immediately the 5 powers in the body began to interweave and merge. Just started. These forces still have some rejection. However, under the careful control of Uchiha Ryujin, they gradually began to merge. Finally, under the blessing of the endless energy of the huge Tenseigan, Uchiha Ryujin involuntarily appeared on the blue chakra coat. Advertisement. Sage mode boom. A low voice rang out. Another horrible fairy art chakra is produced. A clearly visible fairy face appeared on Uchiha Ryujin's cheek. And this is just the beginning. In the surge of the violent sage body chakra, centered on Uchiha Ryujin's body, the huge Tenseigan's energy, Shanshu chakra, eternal Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil power, armament Haki, and the awakened shock fruit's power seemed to have reached a suitable opportunity, and suddenly began to merge at a very fast speed. Stand up. Yes, you read it right. These 5 distinctly different powers merge rapidly. In the end, all the energy merged into one in Uchiha Ryujin's body. Boom. And at the moment when all the energies are merged into one, it seems like a fuse. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Uchiha Ryujin's eternal Mangekyo Sharingan became the sky blue reincarnation Tenseigan, and his Hokage Imperial God robe changed to a light blue 6 Dao Imperial God robe, and the Kong Yunchi in his hand was also transformed into the 6 Dao Kong Yunchi. Influenced by, without any signs, an aura that made the space tremble filled Uchiha Ryujin's body. Then one by one dark spheres appeared behind Uchiha Ryujin in the surging of the 6 powers, invisibly exuding waves of terrifying energy that made one's heart palpitating. No way. Clang. Seeing the sphere of these black balls. Especially after seeing Uchiha Ryujin's Tenseigan's eyes, Otsutsuki Satin seemed to have thought of something. There was an incredible look on his cheeks. Before he could wipe the blood from the corners of his mouth, he staggered and fell in fright. On the ground. Advertisement. Impossible. This 5th Hokage not only evolves the eyes with the power of the huge Tenseigan. He actually entered the 6 modes that the ancestors of the Otsutsuki clan had reached. Suddenly, Otsutsuki's expression on the ground was extremely distorted, and the huge waves in his heart could not be calmed down. Because, he never thought that it would be such a result, the huge Tenseigan, the proud secret weapon of the Otsutsuki clan, actually made wedding dresses for others. This is a hammer. Facing the 6th level Uchiha Ryujin, he must be dead. Finally, stepped into the 6 levels. At this time, Uchiha Ryujin looked calmly at Kong Yunchi with the truth-seeking ball in his hands, and muttered to himself involuntarily. His life level was raised to a higher level. Kong Yunchi also became the 6 artifacts, his even more capable. A quality change. In fact, with the energy that Uchiha Ryujin possesses, he should have broken through the 6 levels long ago. But in the ninja world, he was under the invisible suppression of the ninja world by Sage of 6 Paths. Therefore, it has always been a little bit worse, and now that after absorbing the huge Tenseigan's pupil power, everything is in order. Not only did eternal Mangekyo Sharingan evolve into Tenseigan, but also his own power into the power of the 6 realms. Of course, maybe it's because of our own ability. Uchiha Ryujin's 6 powers also have the power of the awakened shock fruit and the power of the top armament Haki. Obviously, this is definitely a more terrifying power than the ordinary 6 powers. Agriculture. 5th Hokage, you thief. Advertisement. In the next moment, the angry Otsutsuki Saturn finally suppressed the fear in his heart, got up from the ground, and snarled frantically, the huge Tenseigan of the Otsutsuki clan is not something you can absorb as you want. Single quote. Really? After hearing this sentence, Uchiha Ryujin frowned, glanced at the huge Tenseigan that was almost scrapped, stretched out his right hand, and shook it lightly. Puff. There was a crisp cracking sound. The huge Tenseigan that had lost its power suddenly became a residue. Do not. It's over, it's really over. Looking at the huge Tenseigan turned into ashes, Otsutsuki Shishin put his hands on his head and screamed in pain, and in a vague way, Lee knew how he heard the sound of heartbreak. How do you want to die? Uchiha Ryujin looked at the painful Otsutsuki indifferently, and said in a low voice, if there is a cause, there must be an effect. The retribution of your Otsutsuki clan is me. Kill me if you have the ability. Otsutsuki Shedden gritted his teeth and said in a cold voice that the Otsutsuki clan's ancestors would not let you go. Single quote. You die. The babble did not fall. The sound stopped abruptly in the village. Before Otsutsuki Shishin hadn't reacted yet, Rokudo Kong Yunchi slashed his neck at the speed of cutting through the space, causing Otsutsuki Saturn's body to froze in an instant, and the expression on his cheeks solidified. Chapter 150. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 151 Hinata. I will have Tenseigan. Puff. A few seconds later. A visible blood stain appeared on Otsutsuki Shedden's neck. In zero time, the blood that was still steaming was sprayed out like money, and scattered on the surrounding ground. How can it be? As for Otsutsuki Saturn, after his body stiffened, his eyes were filled with incredible colors, and he could only hinder him with his hands covering his neck, and spit out a mouthful of blood from his mouth. Even now, he couldn't believe that Uchiha Ryujin would be so cruel. After invading the moon, he first revealed the fact that he had detained his son Byakugan, then shattered the palace with his aura, made Otsutsuki vomit blood, and absorbed all of the huge Tenseigan energy, only killed him at first. When I think of this, Otsutsuki Satan's heart is filled with regrets. Knowing that this was such a tragic consequence, he shouldn't have taken Hyuga Hinata in Konoha village, and now he has caught fire. The Otsutsuki clan is about to be completely annihilated. Even taking his son Otsutsuki to the family, it must be hard to escape bad luck. 787 home, sorry. Boom. The sound of the road falling to the ground sounded. Otsutsuki Saturn took a look full of guilt and fainted on the ground. After Otsutsuki gave up, he fell straight to the ground. In fact, after the huge Tenseigan created by the members of the branch house of the Otsutsuki clan on the moon was destroyed. Advertisement. Otsutsuki knew that the vitality of the Otsutsuki clan was exhausted. As for the failure of the world created by the so-called Follow Ancestors and Annihilate Sage of Six Paths, it has already declared failure in advance. Our ancestors, our Otsutsuki clan are all over, don't you show up yet. After falling on the ground of the moon, Otsutsuki Satan couldn't help but let out a cry of death that was suffocated to the extreme. Humph. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Ryujin snorted coldly, appeared next to Otsutsuki Shedden in a flash, and slowly stretched out his right hand. Boom. The next moment, the terrifying power of the six realms poured out fiercely. Otsutsuki Satan's body was enveloped with a speed DBFA that was too fast to cover his ears. Perceiving the power of the six ways, Otsutsuki's Byakugan stared wide and opened his mouth. They wanted to say something, but they kept spitting out blood. Waste utilization. Uchiha Ryujin said coldly, anyway, you are going to die, just hand over the chakra energy of the Otsutsuki clan. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Boom. The voice hasn't finished yet. The terrifying power of the six realms eroded Otsutsuki's body. Soon, after a terrifying energy fluctuation, a group of purple chakra appeared in the palm of Uchiha Ryujin's right hand. That's it. Seeing that Otsutsuki Shedden was crushed from beginning to end, Hyuga Hinata swallowed carefully, and a word appeared in his mind. Again, it's not that Otsutsuki is too weak. But 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is too strong. Advertisement. Even the seemingly awesome Otsutsuki Shedden was crushed and could not fight back. Hinata, this thing is for you. The next moment, Uchiha Ryujin glanced at Hinata, who had not yet reacted, and pointed to the purple chakra in his hand, saying, this purple chakra of the Otsutsuki clan is a perfect match for your Byakugan. When your strength becomes stronger in the future, you will automatically awaken the legendary Tenseigan. Tenseigan. Hearing this sentence, Hyuga Hinata's pretty face turned red all of a sudden, and he said anxiously, Lord 5th Hokage, can I really? Of course you can. The corners of Uchiha Ryujin's mouth curled up slightly, and the cloud said lightly, as the Byakugan princess of the Hyuga clan, once you awaken Tenseigan, you can control your own destiny. Oh. Hyuga Hinata lowered his head a little shyly, and said in a low voice, "With Lord 5th Hokage here, I would have been in charge of my own destiny a long time ago." Yes, girly feelings are always poetry. Hyuga Hinata didn't feel anything before. But, after experiencing this thrilling event, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin's heroic body has already entered the depths of her heart without knowing it. What is your little head thinking? Looking at the shy little Hinata, Uchiha Ryujin appeared next to Hinata in a flash, patted Hinata's head with his left hand, said in a deep voice, and concentrated, "I want to send chakra from the Ootsuki clan to yours Byakugan." Yes it is. Perceiving that his head was patted by Master 5th Hokage, Hyuga Hinata's body trembled, and his flushed cheeks became even more charming. Advertisement. Alas. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Ryujin shook his head helplessly. He knew Hyuga Hinata was shy, but he didn't expect Hyuga Hinata to be so shy. In this case, soon, Uchiha Ryujin stretched out his right hand, his heart moved, and the purple chakra in his palm poured into Hyuga Hinata's Byakugan at a very fast speed. Maybe Hyuga Hinata's Byakugan is too pure. The moment he came into contact with the purple chakra unique to the Ootsuki clan, a shock wave of terrifying pupil power erupted. Of course, Hyuga Hinata's strength is too weak. This caused the pupil force to fluctuate quickly, and it went quickly, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Yes, you can. Perceiving the chakra of the Ootsuki clan dormant in Hyuga Hinata Byakugan, Uchiha Ryujin nodded with satisfaction. What he wants is this effect, as long as Hyuga Hinata practices step by step. Open the legendary Tenseigan, it is only a matter of time. Lord 5th Hokage, are you okay? Hyuga Hinata didn't seem to react yet. He raised his head and glanced at Uchiha Ryujin. Because he was too shy, he hurriedly lowered his head. All right. Uchiha Ryujin shrugged with a smile, and said, "From now on, you are the true potential stock of the Hyuga clan." Chapter 151. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 152 The Shock of Madara and Black Zetsu. Potential stocks. After hearing this sentence, Hyuga Hinata's little face was shocked, and countless question marks appeared on her little head. She was obviously young, still do not understand the specific meaning of potential stocks. Well, you are waiting here. A few seconds later, Uchiha Ryujin's reincarnation Tenseigan glanced at the Ootsuki Sharon who was still in a coma and muttered to himself, "From now on, you are the ATM of the Hyuga clan. As you." When I think of this, Uchiha Ryujin couldn't help but think of his own reincarnation Tenseigan. To be honest, he never thought that after absorbing and fusing the huge Tenseigan, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan actually evolved into Reincarnation I. And Samsara Tenseigan. As the name suggests, it has all the abilities of Rinnegan and Tenseigan. Coupled with the power of Shock Fruit and the top armament Haki, which combines the power of the six powers, even he does not know how strong Uchiha Ryujin is now. The Ootsuki clan on the moon was destroyed. The Ootsuki Hamura who was hiding in the dark did not show up. It was really unexpected, and it seemed that he would continue to wreak havoc in the ninja world. A chill appeared on Uchiha Ryujin's cheek, and he shook his head thoughtfully. Advertisement. Yes, this time on the moon, in addition to absorbing and fusing the giant Tenseigan. He just wanted to see if the legendary Ootsuki Hamura was really dead. As for the so-called Ootsuki Shedden, a super shadowy scum, he didn't see him from the beginning to the end. The spike is the best choice. The results of it. After absorbing the huge Tenseigan and breaking through to the 6 levels, neither the ancestor of the Ootsuki clan Ootsuki Hamura, or the creator of the ninja world Ootsuki Hagoromo, did not appear. It seems to be really dead. But, after reaching the 6 levels, Uchiha Ryujin clearly perceives that as long as the 6 levels do not seek death by themselves, they are almost immortal. Therefore, he has a hunch that both Ootsuki Hamura and Ootsuki Hagoromo are still alive, hiding in a certain different space. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. To say something bad, Ootsuki Hamura and Ootsuki Hagoromo may have been eyeing him. Still not strong enough. Uchiha Ryujin couldn't help sighing. For Ootsuki Hamura, he is not very afraid, but Ootsuki Hagoromo, which is the old coin of Sage of Six Paths, he has to guard against. In a sense, Sage of Six Paths is equivalent to 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Advertisement. While fearing that the Ootsuki family is afraid to die, while suppressing the ninjas of the ninja world, they want to be the savior and lay out the ninja world to be as strong as Uchiha Madara and Senju Pillar. In the meantime, they were all stuck at the peak of Super Shadow. Among them, Uchiha Madara, if it weren't for the help of Black Zetsu, would definitely not be able to awaken Rinnegan. Sage of Six Paths is very strong and should not be underestimated. The next moment, Uchiha Ryujin's heart condensed, and he said in a deep voice, "I will continue to work hard to sign in and become stronger." In the original work, after Sage of Six Paths separated the tail beast, It was still able to bestow the 6 powers of Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, allowing these 2 pieces to step into the 6 levels, sealing the big wooden tube Kagaya. Since you are not showing up, then I will make the shinobi world shake well. There was a sound of breaking through the air. Uchiha Ryujin's body appeared above the moon, and Samsara Tenseigan looked down at the earth indifferently. Boom. The next moment, there is no sign. A blast of dazzling sky blue energy swept out at a speed that was too fast to hide. Under the blessing of the power of the terrifying 6 paths, the sky blue energy shock wave unabashedly enveloped the entire earth, causing the earth, which was originally in the latter half of the night, to suddenly turn blue in the sky, illuminating the entire earth. How did the moon burst out with blue light? What is going on? Is there anyone on the moon? How could this happen? The moon turned blue. In an instant, the ninjas of Konoha Village, Iwagakure, Sunagakure, Cloud Shinobi Village, Kirigakure and other shinobi villages in the ninja world, looking at the blue moon, all made an uproar. Terrible. It's really terrible. After all, no one thought. Advertisement. The moon, which hasn't changed in any way, will emit such a weird blue light. Thinking about it, it is involuntarily panicked. Even 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, 4th Raikage Yasuki I, Sunagakure's elder Chiyo, 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei, etc., after perceiving the changes on the moon, they all showed extreme amazement. Among them, 0.0. In a corner of the ninja world, this is the breath of the power of the 6 realms. Uchiha Madara put her arms around her chest, looked up at the moon, and said solemnly, it seems that 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin also broke through. Has it reached the 6th level? After hearing this sentence, the masked man next to him Uchiha Obito's expression suddenly changed, and he exclaimed in an incredible way, saying, how exactly did Uchiha Ryujin cultivate? It's so abnormal. Shock. Extreme shock, for a time. The masked man Uchiha Obito, the whole person is a little shocked, during this time, he has been working hard, and under the teaching of Uchiha Madara, his strength has improved by leaps and bounds. The results of it, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin actually broke through to the 6th level. People are really maddening than people. This made the masked man Uchiha Obito's fragile heart, suffered a huge blow. Damn, why is this? Black Zetsu felt the energy fluctuations from the moon, and his heart was suffocated to the extreme. He also did not expect that this 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, on the territory of the 2nd elder brother Otsutsuki Hamura, broke through to the 6th level, which would have some slaps in his face. Chapter 152. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 153 The Insidious Sage of 6 Paths. These years, Black Zetsu has been secretly laying out, just to one day be able to rescue the mother Otsutsuki Kagaya. The results of it. After 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin was born, all his plans were disrupted and he was forced to resurrect Uchiha Madara, who owns Rinnegan. And now, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is even more violent. Rather than breaking through the 6 levels on the earth, but doing the opposite, going to the moon to break through the 6 levels, this made Black Zetsu feel as uncomfortable as eating shit in his heart. More importantly, Black Zetsu still couldn't figure out why his 2 stupid brothers didn't take action to suppress 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin. Yes, some time ago, Black Zetsu communicated with the mother who was sealed in 527 Otsutsuki Kagaya. I learned some slightly useful information, such as reaching the level of Sage of 6 Paths, almost immortal existence, just like the mother Otsutsuki Teru Yoruichi, cannot be killed, can only be sealed. And so, even if Uchiha Madara is resurrected, Black Zetsu is still very low-key, afraid of attracting the attention of his 2 stupid brothers. What should I do now? This 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is a pervert. I don't know how long it took. White Zetsu and Uchiha Obito looked at the disappearing blue light, and couldn't help making a sound of shock. Advertisement. Ninja is really getting more and more interesting. But at this moment, Uchiha Madara's eyes are a rare ray of manic warfare. I alone said that I am looking forward to fighting 5th Hokage. Single quote. After this sentence, a breath of contempt for everything permeated from Uchiha Madara. From the heart, even the proud Uchiha Madara has to admit that the current ninja world belongs to the era of Uchiha Ryujin. But, what about it? Does the Sengoku period belong to him and Senju Hashirama? When meeting on a narrow road, the brave wins. As the proud son of heaven, he also wants to see whether the ultimate confrontation between the 2 eras is stronger and weaker. The real battle has just begun. Go. At the next moment, Uchiha Madara commanded with a cold expression, we will continue the layout, after a period of time, give 5th Hokage a big gift. Single quote. Yes, Lord Uchiha Madara. Yes, Lord Uchiha Madara. Black Zetsu, White Zetsu, Uchiha Obito nodded indiscriminately. Laugh. A spatial fluctuation occurs, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The Uchiha Madara group of 4 disappeared. Still no response. On the moon, Uchiha Ryujin perceives the earth without movement, and shook his head somewhat boringly. With a movement of his mind, he converged the power of the 6 realms. Laugh. The blue energy wave gradually dissipated. In the next instant, the entire moon returned to its former calm. Wow, it's so beautiful. Seeing that the bright blue light disappeared, Hyuga Hinata, who realized with hindsight, folded his hands in front of him, and couldn't help letting out an exclamation. Advertisement. Well, it's time for us to return to Earth. Huh. There was a sound of breaking through the air. Uchiha Ryujin appeared next to Hyuga Hinata in a flash, hugged Hyuga Hinata and flew towards the Earth. As for the captive Ootsuki Sharon, it was wrapped by a force of 6 ways and disappeared. At the same moment, in a hidden space, strands of the terrifying 6 Dao powers are surging crazily. In the center of the space, I saw 2 people with horns on their heads, wearing white coats, and 6 black jade-like patterns on their chests sitting cross-legged. Brother, are you really calm? I saw Otsutsuki Hamura standing up from the futon as a robe of 6 imperial gods, and said with a solemn expression, Uchiha Ryujin has grown too fast. You still can't bear it in the same way. After hearing these words, Sage of 6 Paths, who had been closing his eyes and rested, suddenly opened his eyes, and said coldly, my layout in the ninja world has been completely disrupted. This Uchiha Ryujin is an outlier. After saying this, Sage of 6 Paths actually has some anger in his heart. Originally, the ninja world is developing steadily under his plan. The appearance of a Uchiha Ryujin completely disrupted everything. If it weren't for the fear of being perceived by the Otsutsuki clan, Sage of 6 Paths had long wanted to take a thunderous action and suppress Uchiha Ryujin. When I think of this, Sage of 6 Paths has some irritation himself. In fact, when Uchiha Ryujin first emerged, he noticed it, but didn't take it seriously. Advertisement. As time goes by, when he wanted to kill Uchiha Ryujin, he found that Uchiha Ryujin had grown up. Unless he had full firepower, he might not be able to kill it. This is not worth the gain. Therefore, Sage of 6 Paths can only be tolerated and needs to be tolerated. Humph. Hearing this, Otsutsuki Hamura's eyes were cold, and he snorted, saying, if the Otsutsuki clan on the moon had not been out of my grasp, I would not let him destroy the Otsutsuki clan. When it comes to this, Otsutsuki Hamura's heart couldn't help but an undisguised killing intent filled his heart. Just kidding, hitting a dog depends on the owner. Uchiha Ryujin killed the Otsutsuki clan, and that was slapped him in the face. 1.7. We continue to watch the changes. The next moment, Sage of 6 Paths reduced his anger, and showed an expression that had already seen everything, saying, if I didn't perceive it wrong, the people of Otsutsuki should have discovered the earth. What? Upon hearing this sentence, Otsutsuki Hamura's expression changed suddenly, and his heart was shocked. Let our stupid 3rd brother and 5th Hokage deal with the people of Otsutsuki's family. Sage of 6 Paths smiled coldly and said indifferently, when these 2 groups of people lose out, it is time for us to take action to clean up the mess. Chapter 153. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 154. The Otsutsuki family, 2 more kneels for subscription. Brother, everything is up to you. Hearing these words, Otsutsuki Hamura's expression changed a bit before he said in a deep voice. Our 2 brothers had tolerated it for so long, and finally they were about to start closing the net. Single quote. Ha ha. Sage of 6 Paths' indifferent eyes showed a cold color, saying, the stupid mother, thinking that getting a black Zetsu in the ninja world, we don't know, it really looks down on us. This time, let your mother give up completely. After saying this, Sage of 6 Paths' cheeks were still filled with disdain. Just kidding. As the first 10 Tails Jinchuriki, and the first person to unravel the true meaning of chakra, Sage of 6 Paths' control over the ninja world has reached its peak. And so, for the existence of Black Zetsu, Sage of 6 Paths is clear. Even if Black Zetsu is bewitching his 2 sons in secret, namely Indra and Ashura, he knows it very well. But, Sage of 6 Paths didn't make any announcement from the beginning to the end, because he was laying out the ninja world, even his sons Indra and Ashura were chess pieces in his hand. However, the plan cannot keep up with the changes. 01 Now Uchiha Ryujin is born. Has completely disrupted the perfect layout of Sage of 6 Paths to the extent that. Advertisement. The current Sage of 6 Paths can only take 1 step at a time. By the way, brother. At the next moment, Otsutsuki Hamura seemed to have thought of something, his eyes were cold, and he pointedly said, Uchiha Madara, who was resurrected by Black Zetsu, owns Rinnegan, can he beat Uchiha Ryujin? Can't. Sage of 6 Paths shook his head without thinking. Why? Otsutsuki Hamura said with some doubts, Uchiha Madara's abilities, coupled with Rinnegan's horror, should be powerful. Single quote. The gap is too big. Sage of Six Paths frowned, and sighed sighfully, saying, the current Uchiha Ryujin, but absorbed the energy of the huge Tenseigan, awakened Tenseigan, a reincarnation that is rare in the world. When it comes to reincarnation Tenseigan, even Sage of Six Paths itself has some incredible things. Because, he once wanted to combine the abilities of Rinnegan and Tenseigan to create a reincarnation Tenseigan, but, after countless attempts, they all ended in failure. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. In the end, even Sage of Six Paths gave up, thinking that Tenseigan only exists in theory. Right now, after Uchiha Ryujin absorbed the huge Tenseigan's pupil power, he exaggeratedly awakened a pair of Samsara Tenseigan. In a sense, it was a severe blow to the old face of Sage of Six Paths. Reincarnation Tenseigan. The voice did not fall. The corners of Ootsuki Himura's mouth twitched slightly, and he was wise immediately. Not talking anymore. Advertisement. After all, in a sense, Uchiha Ryujin can successfully awaken a pair of Samsara Tenseigan because of the huge Tenseigan of the Ootsuki clan on the moon. In short, he, the ancestor of the Ootsuki clan, has an unshirkable responsibility. Well, after a few seconds, Sage of Six Paths took the initiative to change the subject and said coldly. You continue to secretly monitor the Ootsuki-style boarding container Seizon. Okay. Hearing the name of Seishion, Ootsuki Himura's expression suddenly became serious, and said slowly, Seishion was very low-key in the world of ninja, and there was no unusual behavior. He just took in some of his subordinates and formed an unknown shell tissue. Shell tissue. Sage of Six Paths took a deep breath and said indifferently, since they all started to form an organization, it means that Ootsuki is a bit unwilling to be lonely. Understood. Ootsuki Hamura nodded gravely. At the beginning, after the deceived master and ancestor sealed his mother, Ootsuki Kagaya, the two brothers learned about some of the missing hidden by their mother. That was in ancient times thousands of years ago. Ootsuki and his attendant, Ootsuki Wei Yoruichi, came to the earth together, seemingly to cultivate 10 tails into a sacred tree to complete the task assigned by the Ootsuki family. Ootsuki intends to sacrifice Kagaya one level lower than himself to 10 tails, but at the critical moment when the sacrifice is about to be made, Kagaya is suddenly hostile to Yishi and is seriously injured. Finally, using more than half of one's body, Ootsuki Kagaya cultivated sacred tree. As for the remaining half of the body in the form, it was the secret technique of the young Kunguna to shrink the body and successfully escaped, parasitizing in Seishion's body in the form of a wedge. As for what is a wedge? Advertisement. It is said to have originated from the special abilities of the Ootsuki clan. After the user enters the imprint of the curse, a peculiar blue-black mark will appear on the body, and his own ability will be greatly strengthened. The mark can be changed into different colors according to the user's attributes. In the biography of Fu Ren, only Sixian, Xuanmu, and Uzumaki bloggers have this ability. Okay, let's do this for the time being. I don't know how long it took before Sage of Six Paths took a deep breath. A gleam of light flashed through the deep Rinnegan, saying, no matter what, our two brothers are the final winners. Single quote. 067 is like we have sealed our mother Ootsuki Teru Yoruichi. No. Ootsuki Hamura nodded firmly with an astonishing suffocation in the pair of Tenseigan. At the same moment, in the depths of the universe, accompanied by a bright white light, a planet the size of the Earth suddenly turned into dust and disappeared into the universe. The cultivation of the sacred tree failed. In the void, the huge Ootsuki golden style looked down on the exploded planet, and said coldly, this planet has no value for existence. That's right. After hearing these words, Arashiki added coldly, we continue to search for uncultivated planets, cultivate sacred trees, and strive to complete the mission of Ootsuki's family as soon as possible. It is good. Ootsuki Jinshi grinned, no need. Suddenly, the Ootsuki Peach style, who has not spoken, seemed to perceive something, and said with a little excitement, I know where the shame of the Ootsuki clan Ootsuki Kagaya is. Single quote. Chapter 154. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 155 Lunar Development Plan, Guild for Subscription. What? Do you know where Ootsuki Kagaya is? Go. Let's kill the shame of the Ootsuki clan Ootsuki Kagaya. Hearing these words, the Ootsuki Gold style and Ootsuki Ura style were taken aback for a moment, and then the eyes filled with excitement, making a very cold voice. Have nothing to say. For the shame of the Ootsuki family Ootsuki Kagaya. They hated to the extreme. They didn't know where Ootsuki Kagaya was before. Now that they know, they must kill Ootsuki Kagaya. Ootsuki Kagaya must die. Single quote. At this time, Ootsuki Momoshiki took a deep breath and said without emotion, the breath I just sensed seemed to have been deliberately released. It seemed that things were not as simple as imagined. Whatever. Otsutsuki Jinshi said indifferently that after so many years of forbearing, with the strength of Otsutsuki Kagaya, he couldn't overcome any storms. In the face of absolute power, no layout has any effect. Otsutsuki Arashiki grinned, and added in a cold tone, "This time, I will let Kagaya Otsutsuki know the true strength of Otsutsuki's family." Otsutsuki Momoshiki glanced blankly at Jinshi and Arashiki, and said in a low voice. "You should first go to Otsutsuki Kagaya. It is better to get the sacred tree in your pocket. I'm going to the Otsutsuki home to return to life." "No problem. Don't worry, it's enough to leave it to us." Otsutsuki Gold Style and Otsutsuki Ura Style heard these words, suppressing inner happiness. Nodded without hesitation. In their view, Momoshiki deliberately gave the credit to them. A little Otsutsuki Kagaya, they don't believe that it can be overwhelming. If the sacred tree can be collected in the bag and returned to the Otsutsuki clan, then their status may have to be raised. "It is good." Otsutsuki Peach Style Cold Voice, "I will give you the specific location of Otsutsuki Kagaya." The voice hasn't finished yet. Under a terrifying pupil power fluctuation, a dark space wormhole appeared right in front of the Otsutsuki Peach Style. A few seconds later, Otsutsuki Momoshiki pointed to the spatial wormhole he made casually, and said, "After passing through this spatial wormhole, you should be able to reach your destination." "Master Taoshi, let's go first." "Ha, let's go to Otsutsuki Kagaya for a while." The moment they saw the space wormhole, Otsutsuki Jinshi and Otsutsuki Arashi looked delighted, and their body flashed into an afterimage and disappeared into the void. "Hope there are no accidents." After the departure of Otsutsuki Jinshi and Otsutsuki Arashi, Otsutsuki Momoshiki sighed faintly. She actually didn't say a word, that is, she not only perceives the breath of Otsutsuki Kagaya, but also a few other powerful breaths. Among them, Otsutsuki Kagaya seems to have been suppressed. Otsutsuki Peach Style did not act rashly. Instead, let Otsutsuki Gold Style and Otsutsuki Ura Style try the water. "Something is not right, it's too weird, I have to go back to Otsutsuki's house to report it." Advertisement. Soon, after murmured a word, Otsutsuki's peach-like expression fell cold, and his body disappeared into the void in a flash. At the same time, Ninja World, Konoha Village. After 5th Hokage rescued Hyuga Hinata, the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan, the entire Hyuga clan was boiled, and Konoha Village was also shaken. After learning that the moon already belongs to the territory of Konoha Village, the ninjas of Konoha Village instantly it exploded with excitement. Once upon a time, everyone is beyond the reach of the moon. What now? Even the moon is Konoha Village, and I think I'm extremely excited. Just kidding, countless ninjas in the ninja world have been playing small troubles on the earth for so many years, but 5th Hokage is good, and they are already pursuing the stars and the sea. This broad mind and vision really makes countless Konoha shinobi people feel ashamed and surrender. At this time, in the central area of Konoha Village, inside the Hokage office of the Naruto building, who? 5th Hokage, you said you want to develop the moon. No. Can people still live on the moon? How do we get to the moon? Is it going to fly up? I saw Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Hyuga Hiyashi, Naruluju and others all involuntarily made unbelievable voices. No way. It is really the amazing words of Lord 5th Hokage, it is really shocking. Originally after Hyuga Hinata was rescued, everyone was very happy, especially after hearing that Lord 5th Hokage had taken the moon into his bag, I was even more excited. Well now, 5th Hokage also wants to develop the moon and become a back garden of Konoha Village. Backquote, the moon is already our Konoha Village. Uchiha Ryujin took a slow sip of hot tea with a teacup, glanced lightly around, and said lightly, the development of the moon can enhance the invisible power and cohesion of our Konoha Village, and it can also make the ninja world once again. There was a tremor. That's all right. Tsunade hesitated for a moment, nodded slightly with a headache, and said, I will find a way to let people develop the moon, and make the moon a scenic spot in Konoha Village as soon as possible. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. By the way, I have opened up the space channel to the moon. At the next moment, Uchiha Ryujin seemed to have thought of something, and added that through that space channel, he could go back and forth to the moon at will. It is good. Tsunade smiled with joy and said, being able to travel to and from the moon freely and developing the moon makes it easier. Single quote. Lord 5th Hokage. At this time, Hyuga Hiyashi asked curiously, do the Otsutsuki clan on the moon still exist? It's already extinct. Uchiha Ryujin shrugged, and said indifferently, except for Otsutsuki, there is no one on the moon. Call. After hearing these words, Hyuga Hiyashi was relieved with a lingering heart, and muttered to himself, we Hyuga clan finally don't have to face the threat of the Otsutsuki clan on the moon. P.S. Please give me a reward, collection, flowers and evaluation. Thanks for the new author. Chapter 156 Collect all the Tail Beasts Guild for subscription. The 156th collection of all the Tail Beasts Guild for subscription. The Ootsuki clan on the moon was destroyed. Advertisement. Glancing at Hyuga Hiyashi, who was relieved, Uchiha Ryujin smiled and said something meaningfully, but Ootsuki's home was not destroyed. In short, this Ootsuki family is the superior of the Ootsuki clan on the moon. Ootsuki's own family. The voice hasn't finished yet. Hyuga Hiyashi's heart that had been let down suddenly became tense again. Even Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Narashikahisa and others' expressions changed slightly, and there was some fear in their hearts. Is there a mistake? The Ootsuki clan on the moon has just been settled. Now there is another Ootsuki family. Is it true that Ninja is the back garden of the Ootsuki clan? If Uchiha Ryujin knew what Tsunade and others were thinking, he would definitely make up for it. Ninja is indeed the back garden of the Ootsuki clan. The so-called war is just a civil war between the Ootsuki clan. To put it bluntly, without the blood of the Ootsuki clan, you are not even qualified to participate in the war except for Might Guy. Rest assured. A chill flashed in Uchiha Ryujin's eyes, and he pointedly said that the Ootsuki family should not descend on the earth on a large scale. That's right. 640. After breaking through to the 6 levels. Makes observation hockey, which is already at the top level, once again improved. Grade. A few days ago, Uchiha Ryujin inadvertently saw some pictures of the future, one of which was the scene of Ootsuki Gold style and Ootsuki Ura style entering the space wormhole. In this regard, Uchiha Ryujin thought about it for a while, and he was relieved. At the beginning of Konoha's 59th year, all the plots of the ninja world have been completely rewritten, resulting in the layout of Black Zetsu and Sage of Six Paths. The shock was sloppy. Therefore, it is normal for Sage of Six Paths old coins to have a trick to drive away tigers and wolves. Will not descend on the earth on a large scale. After listening to these words, Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Narashikahisa, Hyuga Hiyashi, and others, a hint of helplessness appeared in their hearts involuntarily. Everyone is not a fool. They know the underlying meaning of Lord Fifth Hokage. That is, the ninja world is definitely not peaceful, at least part of the Ootsuki family will come to the earth. Master Fifth Hokage, besides the development plan for the moon, do you have any plans? A few seconds later, Tsunade took a deep breath and said in a deep voice. The current ninja world is very unstable. Coupled with the so-called Ootsuki family's parachuting, I am worried that the situation in the ninja world will be completely out of control. Correct. Once the ninja world gets out of control, it will definitely be a disaster for us at Konoha Village. Since the people of Ootsuki's family will dominate the earth, we always have a countermeasure. With the beginning of Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Narulukisa, Hyuga Hiyashi and others frowned, and they made very solemn voices. Very simple. Uchiha Ryujin said very easily, we only need to collect the remaining 5 tail beasts in Konoha Village, and everything is done. What? Collect tail beasts? Is it to make tail beast weapons? Boom. Advertisement. Maybe it was too surprised. Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Narashikuhisa, Hyuga Hiyashi and others stood up from their seats abruptly, their cheeks filled with extreme shock. FCK. To collect the remaining tail beasts. Plus Konoha Village's 3 tails, 5 tails, 8 tails, 9 tails. Doesn't that mean that Konoha Village has to gather the 9-tailed beasts, so that you can make the tailed beast weapons like the Akatsuki organization? Perhaps the only difference from the Akatsuki organization is that Akatsuki made the tail beast weapon for AEDJ, to conquer the ninja world, and the Konoha Village made the tail beast weapon to resist the invasion of the Ootsuki family. When I think of this, Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Naruluhisa, Hyuga Hiyashi and others all understood at once, and they all looked at Uchiha Ryujin with admiration. The meaning of the expression is very simple. That is, Fifth Hokage deserves to be Fifth Hokage, even such a way can be thought of. In the face of Tsunade and others' gazes, Uchiha Ryujin was a little confused, and he also had some urges to laugh. Special. He didn't say anything, what are you doing with a look that you can understand? He just wanted to simply resurrect 10 tails, and be a great 10 tails Jinchuriki. After all, the purpose of the Ootsuki family is the sacred tree. As long as he can take the sacred tree as his own, he can not only become stronger, but also anger the Ootsuki family. It's good now. Tsunade and others obviously have a crooked understanding. But when I think that 10 tails matters a lot, Uchiha Ryujin is too lazy to explain so much, you can understand as you like, no big deal. As long as he becomes 10 tails Jinchuriki, many things can be easily solved. Fifth Hokage, when will we start collecting the tail beasts? After half a while, Hyuga Hiyashi took the lead and said, time is urgent, we strive to collect the tail beasts in Konoha Village as soon as possible. That's right. Uchiha Fugaku nodded and added that the people of the Otsutsuki clan do not know when they will come to the ninja world, so we should prepare in advance. Single quote. Open the special Otsutsuki home. Naruto rarely squeezed his fist, exploded with a foul language, and said coldly, no matter who it is, if we want to be wild in the ninja world, we must hit head on. It is good. Uchiha Ryujin didn't hesitate, and said very seriously, let's start discussing how to collect tail beasts. Yes. Agree. Collect tail beasts. We in Konoha village can develop the moon while collecting tail beasts. Therefore, under such circumstances, the meeting quickly got on track. Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku, Narulukisa, Hyuga Hiyashi and others all made their own voices in no particular order. Chapter 155. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 157 Seven Tails. After a few hours, this meeting that could affect the entire ninja world situation came to a successful conclusion. Call. After watching Tsunade, Uchiha Fugaku and others leave the office, Uchiha Ryujin couldn't help but sighed and muttered to himself, since the situation in the ninja world has completely changed, then, with absolute strength, break everything, now. Yes. After seeing the picture of Otsutsuki Gold style and Otsutsuki Ura style coming to the earth, Uchiha Ryujin has already made up his mind to collect the 9-tailed beasts, resurrect the legendary 10 tails, and then become 10 tails Jinchuriki himself and control everything. At that time, his strength is absolutely capable of breaking everything. What Otsutsuki Kagaya, Otsutsuki Hamura, Otsutsuki Hagoromo, Otsutsuki Gold style, Otsutsuki Peach style, etc. can only be blown up. Even if all the people from Otsutsuki's family came, they were just giving away food. As for the resurrection of Otsutsuki Kagaya, it's okay, it just depends on Otsutsuki Kagaya's ignorance. Sage of Six Paths, you want to drive away tigers and wolves, but you don't know it has no effect. After a while, Uchiha Ryujin said in a cold voice, this time, I will copy you all at once, and I will never turn over. The next day, early in the morning, the ninja realm, which was already surging under the tide, had no signs. Once again set off a stormy sea. Specific reasons. Of course, Konoha village announced another shocking news that could change the entire ninja world situation. Advertisement. As for the content of the news, it is surprising that Konoha village has ruled the moon and destroyed the Otsutsuki clan on the moon. From now on, the moon will be developed. Boom. As soon as the news came out, the ninja world once again set off a stormy sea. And the hearts of countless ninjas who were already numb were once again filled with wisps of unbelievable colors, and it seemed that they had never expected Konoha village to play cards so unreasonably. After all, Ruchi Cave, one of the 3 holy sites, has just been ruled, and its claws have been extended to the moon. Reminiscent of the vision of the moon a few days ago. Thinking carefully, the countless ninjas in the ninja world have all lost their color, and their hearts are involuntarily rash. It's too difficult, it's really too difficult. After all, no one thought that 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin would be so ambitious that even the moon would be conquered like a ruin. Now we have to develop the moon. To build the moon into the back garden of Konoha village, think about it, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. All make the scalp numb. People are more popular than others. Konoha village has gone to the moon to play, how do others play? Among them, Sunagakure, Cloud Shinobi village, Iwagakure, Kirigakure have the most complicated and entangled moods, because they face the increasingly strong and unsolvable Konoha village, they are really desperate. In despair, the 4 ninja villages are more and more missing the 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is known as the strongest Naruto in history. No way. Compared with 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen is really an experienced baby. Advertisement. Shinobi is shaking. Konoha village started to secretly collect tail beasts. Because 3 tails, 5 tails, 8 tails, and 9 tails have all been included in Konoha village, 1 tail, 2 tails, 4 tails, 6 tails, 7 tails have become Konoha village's targets. Out of basic respect for the tail beast, 7 tails became the first goal of Konoha village. Takanen village. It's a shinobu village hidden by a huge waterfall. Therefore, even if it is surrounded by 4 countries, with the blessing of its unique geographical location, Takanen village has never been invaded by other countries. And the killed member of Akatsuki organization Kakuzu, was once the strongest ninja in Takanen village. At this time, in a hidden room in Takanen village, 5 ninjas dressed in Cloud Shinobi village costumes and 1 ninja dressed in Takanen village costumes are sitting on chairs. Shisha, where is the hero water of Takanen village? I saw a Cloud Shinobi who said uncomfortably, we have secretly come to Takanen village for almost half a month, still can't we do it? 0. For flowers, yes. After hearing these words, another Cloud Shinobi elite Jonin said coldly, if you don't make a decision, we will start secret operations. Humph. The voice hasn't finished yet. Another Cloud Shinobi Jonin snorted coldly and said, if it wasn't for the hero water of Takanen Village, do you think we would cooperate with you? Advertisement. Wait a second. Hyuga heard this, although I was very upset, but due to the strength of Cloud Shinobi, I calmly said that Seven Tails Jinchuriki is practicing in the place of heroic water. If we act rashly, the consequences will be very serious. Seven Tails Jinchuriki. This may be a good opportunity. 0. If Cloud Shinobi Village can get 7 tails in the bag, it will definitely enhance the comprehensive strength of Cloud Shinobi Village. After this sentence, a few gleams of light flashed in the eyes of the 5 Cloud Shinobi. You know, the current Cloud Shinobi Village, but Konoha Village can't breathe pressure. I'm so angry, if I can capture 7 tails Jinchuriki, it will definitely be a great achievement. It seems that the more I think about it, the more excited it is, the more I think about it, the more excited it is. The 5 Cloud Shinobi glanced at each other and silently reached a consensus. You know, in this half a month, they were not idle, but secretly figured out the basic layout of Takanen Village. As long as you can contact Cloud Shinobi Village, you can definitely cooperate inside and outside, and include the heroic water and 7 tails Jinchuriki of Takanen Village in your bag. Thinking about it, it will be a good thing. This scene. The look of the Hyuga is a bit ugly. Especially seeing the ambitious eyes of 5 Cloud Shinobi, he suddenly realized that I seem to have led the wolf into the room again. Cooperating with Cloud Shinobi to plunder the heroic water of Takanen Village seems to be a bit risky. As for the heroic water, it is the mysterious water that the ancestors of Takigakure village passed down to increase the chakra by dozens of times. Chapter 156. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 158 Takanen Village sign in for subscription. As for the water of heroes, it is the mysterious water that was passed down from the ancestors of the village of Takian that can increase the chakra by dozens of ninjas. That is the holy water obtained from under the giant tree every 100 years. Of course, the water of heroes seems to be awesome, but it actually has a big side effect. As the price of soaring chakra, it will consume the lives of users. Therefore, the water of heroes is sealed. This time the Shisha and the people of Cloud Shinobi Village are cooperating to obtain the water of heroes and train some dead men who are not afraid of death. In this way, it can get twice the result with half the effort in seizing control of Takanen Village. Okay, we will act after 3 days. At the next moment, it seemed that something was thinking of something. A ray of coldness flashed through the eyes of the Hyuga, and gritted his teeth and said, 7 tails Jinchuriki can give you Cloud Shinobi Village, but 6 or 80. Cloud Shinobi Village do it yourself. It is good. No problem, we happen to be very interested in 7 tails. Ha ha ha, a wise choice, as long as you conquer 7 tails Jinchuriki, the heroic water is not in your bag. After hearing this sentence, a ray of joy appeared on the cheeks of the 5 Cloud Shinobi, and they made an uproar with excitement. One of the leading elites, Jonin, patted the Hyuga on the shoulder very happily. The meaning is very simple. You performed very well. Advertisement. Perceiving the pain on his shoulder, Shisha nodded stiffly. Although he was very upset, he was suppressed severely and couldn't say anything. Let's go. Another Cloud Shinobi Jonin chuckled. Let's contact Lord 4th Raikage. Okay. The leading elite Jonin nodded neatly. Swish, this sentence just fell. The sound of breaking through the air rang out. The 5 Cloud Shinobi Jonin disappeared into the room at an extremely fast speed. Seeing the backs of the 5 Cloud Shinobi Jonin leaving, Shisha clenched his fists involuntarily, but involuntarily released it. What else can I say? If there is a choice, will he still cooperate with Cloud Shinobi Village to deal with Takanen Village? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. For everything, his apprentice Shibuki, the new leader of Takanen Village, is not good at raising him. It didn't take long for Ninja World. The Raikage office in Cloud Shinobi Village. What? Looking at the latest intelligence document in his hand. 4th Raikage's expression changed suddenly, perhaps too horrified, and the whole person stood up abruptly. As for the content of the intelligence document, it is surprising that the specific situation of Takanen Village has been figured out, and 7 tails Jinchuriki and Heroes Water of Takanen Village can be collected at any time. Advertisement. Master 4th Raikage, the plan was very successful. Azabuye held a document scroll and said respectfully. According to the information sent by the 5 Cloud Shinobi, the Shisha in Takanen Village had agreed to cooperate. After saying this, Mabuye was a little excited. Yes. This time I shot Taki Shinobu Village. It is a decision made by Cloud Shinobi Village after careful consideration. As for why, of course, the more powerful Konoha Village has made Cloud Shinobi Village somewhat powerless and desperate. But 4th Raikage is not a master who concedes defeat easily, and this is how the heroic water of Takanen Village and 7 tails Jinchuriki's ideas came up. Otherwise, just some small hookahs are also compatible with Cloud Shinobi Village. Great. It's really great. Killer B, rest in peace. I will avenge you. Ha 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 ha. This time, we must take down all 7 tails Jinchuriki and Hero Water. After a few seconds, accompanied by waves of extremely cold laughter, fourth Raikage Yayui eyes cheeks appeared with wisps of madness, his fists clenched, and the whole person seemed to be a little crazy and sick. Alas, seeing this scene, Mabuyi couldn't help but sighed. She knows very well that fourth Raikage has been suppressed for too long, and has been hit by the terrifying and unsolvable fifth Hokage of Konoha village and has some depression. Well now, there is finally news to revive fourth Raikage. Let the 2, Wooden Golem and several teams of Cloud Shinobi, go secretly to Takanon village and try to conquer Takanon village without any effort. I don't know how long it has been. Advertisement. Fourth Raikage Yazuki I came back to her senses, and coldly ordered, this time, I will let Taki Shinobi village be swallowed by Cloud Shinobi village without knowing it. Understood. Upon hearing this sentence, Mabuyi nodded solemnly. At the same time, Takanon village, on a boulder behind a huge waterfall, is this the Takanon village? Looking at the little Shinobu village hiding behind the waterfall, to catch Uchiha Ryujin of 7 tails Jinchuriki, the corners of his mouth slightly tilted unconsciously. What else can I say? After entering Takanon village, his observation Haki has already sensed some different breaths. Among them is the most powerful breath. Unsurprisingly, it should be the breath of Neo Jinchuriki, and there are a few breaths, which should be the breath of a ninja in Cloud Shinobi village. Forget it, just ignore you guys. After a few seconds, Uchiha Ryujin seemed to have thought of something, and 5.9 was too lazy to think so much, and silently ordered, system, sign in at Takanon village. 1 second. 10 seconds and 30 seconds. Finally, after 1 minute, the clear prompt sound of the system finally sounded. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Congratulations to the host, successfully signed in at the sign in location refreshed by the system Takanon village. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Secret Art Earth Grievance, Hero Water with no side effects. Ding. The reward has been distributed to the system space, and the host can check it at any time. Because the strength of the host is too strong, the effect of the water of the hero on the host is almost zero. Chapter 157. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 159. Mystery, ground grievance and heroic water without side effects. Listening to the prompt sound from the system, Uchiha Ryujin shook his head helplessly. What else can you say? For him who has reached the level of 6. The so-called secret techniques, ground grievances and the heroic water without side effects have no use for eggs, and it does not have any benefit for the growth of strength. Forget it, this time signing in is still rewarding. At least the water of heroes without side effects can improve the ninjas of Konoha village. At the next moment, Uchiha Ryujin slowly got up and muttered to himself, system, I want to look at my property panel. Ding. Host's latest property panel is being generated. Ding. Property panel is generated. Host. Uchiha Ryujin. Age. 22 years old. Resident sign in area. Ninja World. Accumulatively signed in to get a very valuable award 07 Li. One of the 4 Emperor's Whitebeard template, unlock 100%. Marine 6 styles proficient, Huo Shi Hao fire extinguishment. Multiple shadow clone technique. Observation Haki top. Armament Haki top level, Conqueror's Haki top level. Senju Hashirama's Sage Body fusion, Kongyan cut, one of the 12 skills of the Supreme Sharp Knife. 8 trigrams Palms Revolving Heaven. Lightning Style Chakra Mode. 1000 Birds. Rasengan. Muji Healing. Sealing Ghoul Sealing. 5 Escape Dalian Bullet Technique. Moon Breathing Method. Sun Breathing Method. Water. Thunder. Inflammation. Rock. Wind. 5 basic genres of breathing. Yin and Yang Escape. Perfect Sage Mode. Secret Technique. Ground Grievance. And English without side effects. Advertisement. Male Water. Next check in location. Kirigakure. Inactive check in time. 1 minute. Note. Sign in at the sign in location refreshed by the system, and you can get rich rewards. Phew, unknowingly, he is already 22 years old. I took a look at my property panel. Uchiha Ryujin's eyes moved, and he sighed involuntarily, and his expression was a bit sigh. At the beginning, after activating the god level sign in system, he just simply wanted to develop wretchedly, and slowly sign in became stronger. The results of it, Konoha F4, headed by 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, had to challenge his bottom line, making Uchiha Ryujin forced to take a shot. Since then, it has been out of control and has come to this step. It's almost time, it's time to suppress 7 tails Jinchuriki. Uchiha Ryujin stretched out, a coldness appeared in his eyes, and said to himself quietly, I hope you can hold on for a minute, otherwise, it would be too boring. At the same moment, Takanon village. In a square in the center area, bang. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. A deafening roar resounded, and a powerful collision shock wave broke out. The terrifying force even made Taki Village shake a few times. Damn, Shisha, you actually colluded with the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village. Why do you want to betray Takanen Village? You are Jonin from Takanen Village. Cloud Shinobi Village, you want to annex our Takanen Village, really wishful thinking. Accompanied by an angry roar. I saw that the ninja from Takanen Village looked at the Cloud Shinobi that surrounded the square. His expression was extremely ugly, and even more angry and somewhat distorted. Advertisement. Among them, Shibuki, the young leader of Takaninja Village, is being guarded by a group of ninjas from Takaninja Village. He seems to have lost his silly expression. His expression is dull for a while, and his eyes are filled with incredible expressions. To know, is the Hyuga his master? Now he always thinks that the master who loves him the most, unexpectedly combined with the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village, and attacked Takanen Village. This made Shibumu's heart collapse and was unacceptable. Yes, he didn't think about it. It will be a scene that makes people want to collapse. The ninjas of Takanen Village, you should catch them with your hands. After hearing these words, one of Cloud Shinobi's elite Jonin sneered, as long as you surrender, we don't need to kill you, otherwise, the consequences will be at our own risk. Single quote. These days, we have already secretly laid a net of heaven and earth, no one can come, Cloud Shinobi Village is for your Takanen Village. You can die if you surrender, and you will die if you don't surrender. Ha ha ha, when you surrender, we will collect the hero water and 7. The tail Jinchuriki. Soon, after starting with a Cloud Shinobi, it seemed as if the fuse was lit, and the several teams of Cloud Shinobi who secretly entered the Takanen Village all showed a proud laugh. Just kidding, the layout has been so long. It's finally time to close the internet. Advertisement. They couldn't wait inside. If Seven Tails Jinchuriki hadn't appeared yet, they would have killed the ninjas in Takanen Village in front of them. Takanen Village, but so, Seven Tails Jinchuriki, won't you come out yet? Slam. A sound of 533 breaking through the sky sounded. I saw two-tail Jinchuriki wooden golem and Azabuyi appeared in the square in a flash. As for this sound, the two were made by wooden golem. Come out soon. A wisp of killing intent appeared on Mabuyi's cold cheeks, and he said in a deep voice. After a minute, if you don't show up again, I will kill Wush. Single quote. After saying this sentence, Mabuyi glanced contemptuously at the group of Takanen in the center of the square. In fact, after getting the order of Lord Fourth Raikage, she didn't put Takanen Village in her eyes, so she ran to Takanen Village herself. After some layout, the final result did not disappoint her. Successfully used a strategy to force a group of Takanen to the square, and he could catch them all at any time. That's right. Two-tailed Jinchuriki by Wooden Golem's eyes cold, he said, you all know the truth of guilt in Takanen Village. Single quote. Boom. After this sentence, a terrifying tailed beast, Chakra, swept out of the second-tailed Jinchuriki from Wooden Golem, and swept the entire square at a speed of lightning speed. Chapter 158. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 162 Tails and 7 Tails. Roar. After a few seconds, an extremely violent roar sounded. I saw the shocking chakra coat appeared on the body of the two wooden golems. The blue cat demon pattern chakra began to appear on the surface of the body, the hair began to be slightly upturned, the eyes turned white, and then entered the tail. The state of being animalized. Boom. At the moment when Wooden Golem entered complete tail animalization, the entire Takanen Village shook. Perhaps the tail beast chakra was too violent, causing visible cracks on the ground of the square, which were spreading outwards at an extremely fast speed. This is the tail beast chakra. Cloud Shinobi Village actually sent the second tail Jinchuriki, which is simply too deceptive. What to do? The two-tailed Jinchuriki has entered a completely beast-like state, it is really terrible. At the moment when the two of them entered the tail beastization from Wooden Golem, the ninjas of Takanen Village on the scene made a panicked uproar in no particular order, and some of them were already paralyzed on the ground. Joke. Takanen Village is actually a small ninja village. When have you faced such a terrifying opponent? Seven Tails Jinchuriki Feng, where are you? Seeing this scene, the young leader Shimu, who was protected in the middle of the square, looks. Advertisement. The light was dull, and wisps of hopelessness filled his cheeks. If it's just against Cloud Shinobi, he can drink the hero's water desperately and die with Cloud Shinobi. But, in the face of the completely beast-like two wooden golem, he was really desperate, and this was a hammer. Even if he had a dead end and drank the water of the hero, it would be a dead end. Seven Tails Jinchuriki, won't you come out for a long time? And after entering the complete tail beastization, Wooden Golem smiled coldly and uttered a violent meow. His violent eyes stared at the leader of Takanen village, Shibumu, and he grinned, seemingly at any time it is possible to launch a total offensive. Ha ha ha, hurry up and surrender. Lord Wooden Golem is really too violent, he deserves to be the perfect two-tailed Jinchuriki. Takanen village is finished, now it's up to you to see whether Seven Tails Jinchuriki will appear or not. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. At this time, looking at you Wooden Golem, who was incarnate as the second tail, all Cloud Shinobi showed coldness, and even some of them had begun to show their eyes at the play. What else can you say? The two tails by Wooden Golem are completely beasted, and things are basically settled. Huh, isn't there yet? Fire Rat Jade. The next moment, a cold shout sounded. I saw the two-tailed Wooden Golem spit out a rat-like flame violently, accompanied by the sound of breaking through the air. Under the eyes of everyone, the rat-shaped flame was scattered into a large number of blue flame-tracking rounds, violently attacking the ninjas in Takanen village in the center of the square at an extremely fast speed. Ruined. Dead. Faced with such a terrifying attack. Advertisement. The ninjas in Takanen village in the center of the square were all pale with fright, even the leader, Shibuki, trembling inadvertently. Why bother? However, just at the moment, a slightly helpless voice sounded, and a woman with short blue-green hair with butterfly feathers growing from behind appeared in the middle of the square. Another terrifying tail beast chakra fluctuated. In the blink of an eye, the woman entered a tail beast-like state, covered with the dark red-tailed beast chakra, abruptly blocking the front of the ninjas in Takanen village. Immediately after, a large number of blue flame tracking rounds hit Seven Tails Jinchuriki's body fiercely. Boom. An explosion sounded like a ruin. The horrible explosive energy shock waves swept out with a devastating force, blasting many ninjas in Takanen village, and expanding the cracks in the square several times. A huge groove appeared, and Takanen village was shaken. Dozens of times. The horror is terrible. 10 seconds per second. 30 seconds. As time went by, and 10 minutes later, the situation on the scene gradually stabilized. Looking around, the square is a mess. The ninjas of Takanen village have been bombarded by the aftermath, and they are everywhere. The only difference is that besides the two by Wooden Golem, a beetle with 6 wings and a tail appeared on the square. Ha ha. Advertisement. Facing Seven Tails Jinchuriki that appeared in vain. The two Wooden Golems sneered and roared, you finally appeared. Shit. After hearing these words, the completely tailed Seven Tails Jinchuriki yelled. Originally, I didn't want to take action, but you Cloud Shinobi village doesn't care about our Takanen village feelings, it's really deceiving too much. Bullying too much. Completely beast-like by Wooden Golem, he shook his head disdainfully, and said coldly, we are doing things at Cloud Shinobi village. Why should you worry about your feelings in Takanen village? Damn, before the voice is over, Li Zhao's boom. Maybe it's too angry. The completely tailed Seven Tails Jinchuriki exploded with the terrifying tail beast chakra energy shock wave. It is good. Seeing this scene, the two Wooden Golems were not angry at all, but showed a ray of excitement, and the real battle was finally about to begin. Step back. Sprinkle everything later. Waiting for the two to start with Wooden Golem. As for the Cloud Shinobi, headed by Linen Clothes, after a few changes in their expressions, they withdrew their ambitions in no particular order. No way, the battle between the tail beasts is not something they can participate in. Chapter 159. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 161 Fifth Hokage. Kneel for subscription. No way, the battle between the tail beasts is not something they can participate in. Now the two Tails Jinchuriki and Seven Tails Jinchuriki are going to fight, it's better to stay away. Among them, Azabuye is watching the situation in the field while retreating. Once Jinchuriki can't win Seven Tails Jinchuriki, she will let Cloud Shinobi who sneaked into Takanen village attack Seven Tails Jinchuriki. At the same moment, accompanied by two horrible aura fluctuations. Two-tailed Jinchuriki chakra fluctuations from Wooden Golem and Seven Tails Jinchuriki Maple began to become more and more majestic. Among them, the second-tailed Jinchuriki, which is controlled by Wooden Golem, has completely become a tail animal. As for Maple, maybe he still can't fully control Seven Tails, and he hasn't completely entered the state of being completely tailed. Affected by this, the pressure of the two Tails Jinchuriki, the aura of Wooden Golem faintly suppresses the aura of Seven Tails Jinchuriki Maple. Damn, you let me out and promised to blow up this little cat who doesn't know what is wrong. At this time, at 643, in Feng's body, feeling that his aura was suppressed, Seven Tails was violent, and said violently into the consciousness space. Only by completely liberating me can I defeat the second tail. Single quote. To shut up. Feng took a deep breath, revealing a hint of determination, saying, I won't let you out. Single quote. There is nothing to say. Kaide knows the monster in her body very well. Once it is fully released, she is afraid that the entire Takanen village will not be destroyed. Advertisement. Okay, whatever you want. After hearing these words, Seven Tails in Fang's body stirred his own wings, smiled cruelly, and said, once you can't win, don't blame me for occupying your body. It won't give you a chance. Feng frowned, sensing the majestic tail beast chakra on his body, and he believed in himself. Even if only part of your power can be used, it is completely enough. After whatever you said, Seven Tails in Maple shook his head coldly. It has to take a look, CBAJ, Facing the Perfect Jinchuriki by Wooden Golem, the so-called host, How to Win. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Hands on. At this time, Wooden Golem, who had turned into a blue cat demon, didn't care about that much. After entering the complete tail beastization, a terrifying power chakra wave broke out. But, just when Wooden Golem and Maple were planning to do it. Without warning, a majestic coercion that seemed to make the world surrender, enveloped the entire Takanen village with a thunderous speed. No doubt, this is Conqueror's Haki from 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin. Now, what a terrifying Uchiha Ryujin's Conqueror's Haki, who has reached the level of 6, just broke out. The beasted bodies of Jinchuriki and Seven Tails Jinchuriki froze in place in no particular order. Advertisement. If you look closely, you can also see the incredible color in the eyes of Wooden Golem and Feng, because this aura seems to be aimed at Jinchuriki specifically, causing Wooden Golem and Feng to tremble violently, and there is a buzzing in their heads. The breath of the 6 realms. Could it be the 6 old men who did it? Impossible, isn't the 6 Dao old man already ignoring ninja things? And in you Wooden Golem and Maple's body, Erway and Seven Tails also had some hatred in an instant. As a tail beast, they are very sensitive to aura and coercion. Now this terrible aura is coming from the cracking down, making all of them as tail beasts tremble in an instant, unable to be themselves. This is undoubtedly abnormal. This, so powerful and powerful. How could it be possible? I felt that some couldn't hold on, and I was about to kneel down. At this moment, the most daunting and incredible are the evacuated Cloud Shinobi and the ninjas of Takanen village. They were still waiting for the battle between Niu Jinchuriki and Seven Tails Jinchuriki. The result? An aura that seemed to make heaven and earth surrender was suppressed. This made the evacuated Cloud Shinobi and the ninjas of Takanen village feel terribly shocked, and their minds were gradually suppressed and collapsed. Puff puff puff, this is the sound of someone kneeling. Immediately, in less than a few seconds, the evacuated Cloud Shinobi and Takanen village ninjas all knelt on the ground uncontrollably. Advertisement. Shock. Extreme shock. If someone is in Takanen village, you will find that the ninjas of Takanen village are kneeling on the ground. Even the 2 Tails Jinchuriki and 7 Tails Jinchuriki have been suppressed and squatted on the ground. Yes, you read it right. The 2-tailed beasts of Jinchuriki and 7 Tails Jinchuriki were suppressed and fell on the ground. It looks so funny. It's boring. It didn't take long for a sound to break through the air. Uchiha Ryujin appeared in the center of the square as soon as his body flashed. He glanced lightly at 2 Tails Jinchuriki and 7 Tails Jinchuriki, and said, originally intended to take 7 Tails into the bag, Niu Jinchuriki took the initiative to deliver it to the door. Coming. Boom. And looking at the people coming. Especially when I look at Uchiha Ryujin's very conspicuous Hokage Goshin robe. Countless Cloud Shinobi and ninjas from Takanen village, even the 2-tailed Jinchuriki and 7 Tails Jinchuriki, who were kneeling on the ground, were struck by lightning, showing a ghostly look. No way, whether it is Cloud Shinobi or the ninja of Takanen village. I never thought that 5th Hokage, the god of the ninja world, actually came to Takanen village. This FCK is a little scary. You know, this is the 5th Hokage that surpasses the legendary ninja Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. More importantly, the current 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin has no solution in the ninja world. What does he want to do when he comes to Takiha Ryujin? Chapter 160. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 162. More importantly, the current 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is an unsolvable existence in the ninja world. What did he want to do when he came to Takiha Ryujin? Thinking carefully, I was terrified. For a moment, whether it was Cloud Shinobi or the ninja of Takanen village, their bodies trembled slightly, looking pale at 5th Hokage, opening their mouths, trying to say something, but found that they couldn't say anything. What else can you say? 5th Hokage suddenly dominates Takanen village, it must be a bad person, it's over. Among them, the linen knelt on the ground collapsed in his heart, the expression on his cheeks had frozen, and he was no longer proud of it. She didn't think about it. The 5th Hokage of Konoha village is actually in Takanen village, desperate, extremely desperate. If you are talking about other ninjas in Konoha village, Mabuyi is confident that she can retreat all over, but, now facing 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, she really doesn't have the courage to escape. I didn't see the momentum alone. are Cloud Shinobi and the ninjas of Takanen Village kneeling on the ground. It's a hammer. She could only kneel on the ground stupidly, shivering. Is he 5th Hokage? I suppressed her way and Seven Tails men while watching the chat and laughing in the field. Advertisement. Hyuga felt a little helpless in his heart. He laid it out for so long and saw that he was about to succeed, but he killed an uninvited guest, which made him dumbfounded. Now he can only pray that 5th Hokage is just passing by, otherwise, it will be all over. 5th Hokage. Compared with the despair and collapse of Linen Clothes and Hookahs, Shibumu, the young leader of Takanen Village, after the initial horror and inconceivability, clenched his fists, and a ray of hope emerged in his heart. In his opinion, the sudden appearance of 5th Hokage. Maybe it's a turning point in Takanen Village's dead trees every spring. In fact, after learning that Konoha Village had swallowed Rain Shinobi Village in a desperate manner, Shimu, who was very foresighted, planned to lead Taki Shinobi Village to actively seek refuge in Konoha Village in order to obtain Konoha Village's ass protection. Joke. Konoha Village, with the first person in the ninja world Uchiha Ryujin, is almost invincible. Shibuki didn't think that Takanen Village could withstand the invasion of Konoha Village just because of Hero Water and Seven Tails Jinchuriki. Therefore, he had already made a decision early and took a good time to surrender to Konoha Village, but the plan could not keep up with the changes. His master, Shisha, who was secretly colluding with Cloud Shinobi, caught him by surprise. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's good now. 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin appears, and everything has changed. Suddenly, without any signs. Maybe it's lying on the ground suppressed by the aura. As a result, Seven Tails Jinchuriki Maple could no longer control the Seven Tails in his body. Under the shock of his mind, Seven Tails seized control of the body, completely entering a state of complete tail beastization, and burst out. The extremely terrifying tail beast chakra. Looking around. Advertisement. The dark red-tailed beast chakra that makes the scalp numb is constantly surging, while the 6 wings and 1 tail of Seven Tails are constantly twisting, as if they want to get up from the ground and just face Uchiha Ryujin. It's a pity. No matter how hard Seven Tails tried, there was something to no avail. Being suppressed by the invisible and terrible aura, lying on the ground, they couldn't move at all. Roar. After struggling for a while, Seven Tails, who had been completely released, let out a violent roar. Damn it, put away its momentum if you have the ability, and just face me. Special. As the legendary Seven Tails, it has not been so suffocated as it is now. Being suppressed by a man lying on the ground and unable to move is a shame. Therefore, even if the opponent's strength is very strong, it must explode well. You bug, also worthy of letting me do it. Uchiha Ryujin put his hands on his chest and tilted his head. He glanced at Seven Tails faintly, and said lightly, since you want to resist the stubbornness, don't blame my subordinates for being ruthless. Presumptuous, even if you reach the 6th level, don't think about it. Boom. I haven't finished speaking yet. An even more pounding aura and coercion swept from Uchiha Ryujin's body. If you perceive it carefully, you will find that the pressure this time has been faintly mixed with the strength of the 6 ways. Seek flowers. Kaz. This is the sound of cracks in the air. Under everyone's eyes, with Uchiha Ryujin as the center, there are wisps of cracks visible to the naked eye like spider webs in the air, and the ground is like an earthquake, with large-scale vibrations and cracks beginning to appear. You can see Cloud Shinobi and Taki at the scene. The ninja of Ninja Village had a tingling scalp. Advertisement. And as the initiator of Seven Tails. At this moment, I felt my body froze, and there was a roar in my mind. I didn't hold on for a second, I just slumped to the ground and completely lost my consciousness. How is it possible? 0. Has it really reached the level of 6? This is the last thought in Seven Tails' mind. It obviously didn't expect that the 5th Hokage in front of him had really reached the level of Sage of 6 Paths, shattering the last bit of luck in its heart. Quiet. A piece of dead silence. After suppressing the completely released Seven Tails with a force of destruction. The whole scene was silent. If it weren't for the messy ground, collapsed houses and big trees in Takanen Village, someone would definitely not believe it. Someone would have suppressed Seven Tails with imposing momentum. How terrible is this? Too strong. Really too strong. Ninja God is really too strong. What kind of monster is 5th Hokage? Soon. After the initial horror, especially looking at Seven Tails Jinchuriki who was fainted. The countless Cloud Shinobi and the ninjas of Takanen Village who were kneeling on the ground were dull and blank in their minds. Yes, everyone knows that 5th Hokage is very strong and is the newly promoted god of the ninja world. But, they didn't expect that it would be so strong, and without a single move from the beginning to the end, it suppressed the completely tailed Seven Tails. What a terrifying power is this? Chapter 161. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 163 Surrender or Death, 2 more kneels for subscription. Ever since, in this situation, the whole Takanen village fell into a dead silence. Looking at Seven Tails Jinchuriki who had been fainted, both Cloud Shinobi and the ninja from Takanen village were filled with wisps of horror. By Wooden Golem. Sorry. Single quote. I am definitely not 5th Hokage's opponent, I can only be crushed. I don't know how long it took, but Neo reacted first, and said shiveringly, the 5th Hokage in front of you is already comparable to the legendary Sage of 6 Paths, so you in Cloud Shinobi village will ask for more blessings. And #039. Laugh. After saying these desperate words, the two-tailed beast's chakra were taken back in shock. It is not a fool or an idiot. After seeing 7 tails have been easily cleaned up, he went to 5th Hokage and went to meet 5th Hokage. It was pure death. This. Watching myself retreat from the state of being completely tailed beastly, Wooden Golem knelt on the ground uncontrollably, a bitter color appeared naturally on his cheeks. What else can you say? The tail beast that can scare doesn't dare to do it. What a terrifying monster this 5th Hokage is. Alas. Shisha sighed, revealing a look of despair. Everything was over, facing the almost oppressive power of 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, There is no other way but to kneel on the ground and sing conquest. Advertisement. After all, it was a miss. Azabuye looked at the Cloud Shinobi who were kneeling on the ground and had given up resistance, and shook their head very depressed. I thought that this time I would be able to smoothly collect the heroic water and 7 tails of Takanen village, but now it seems that everything is made for Konoha village. After all, Cloud Shinobi village has inherited everything. Call. As for Shibuki, the young leader of Takanen village, he was relieved. The stronger 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is, the more proof he has to lead Takanen village to submit to Konoha village's decision is correct and wise. In other words, surrender to Konoha village is the wisest choice. Humph. At this time, Uchiha Ryujin didn't care so much. He glanced at 7 tails who had been stunned and snorted subconsciously. Laugh. Maybe it was affected by cold snorts. 7 tails chakra quickly converged into Maple's body. In just a few seconds, 7 tails' huge body disappeared, leaving 7 tails Jinchuriki Maple in a coma. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. All done. When Uchiha Ryujin saw this, Yun Danfeng shook his head lightly, and when he turned his gaze, he looked at Yu Wooden Golem and others who were kneeling on the ground, saying, surrender or death. Originally, after signing in at Takanen village, Uchiha Ryujin wanted to do it unscrupulously, but as a result, he found out that Cloud Shinobi was in collusion with the rebels of Takanen village. With the idea of catching it all, he hid in Taki Shinobi village and wanted to wait for an opportunity. However, he did not expect that Cloud Shinobi village wanted to secretly annex Taki Shinobi village. He also dispatched two-tailed Jinchuriki, Linen and other high-end battles. Force. Advertisement. So, Uchiha Ryujin waited for a while. It was only when the 2 tails Jinchuriki and 7 tails Jinchuriki were about to fight. This is where the scene is now. Without further ado, he suppressed everything and stunned the 2 tails Jinchuriki and 7 tails Jinchuriki. For a moment, once the dull voice came out. Like a thunderstorm, there was a thunderous explosion in the minds of the Cloud Shinobi and the ninjas of Takanen village at the scene. Puff puff puff. This is the sound of someone vomiting blood after being shaken. Affected by this, the faces of people such as Hookahs and Linen Clothes became paler. What's more, their eyes began to pale, their bodies fell to the ground uncontrollably, and they were shocked to faint. 5th Hokage, Shibuki, the leader of Takanen village, is willing to surrender to Konoha village. However, at this moment, kneeling on the ground, Shibumu forcibly endured the fear and throbbing in his heart, and a firm color appeared on his immature cheeks, and he stood up from the ground abruptly, adding that I actually wanted to lead Takinobu a long time ago. The village surrendered to Konoha village, but there was no suitable opportunity. Now I am willing to lead Takanen village to surrender to Konoha village. I believe you heard this sentence. Uchiha Ryujin furrowed his brows and glanced at Shibumu indifferently. He whispered, wisely, the hero water of Takanen village and 7 tails Jinchuriki will belong to Konoha village from now on. Do you have any comments? No comments. Shimu nodded happily and said, as long as Konoha village wants, you can take it away, especially hero water and 7 tails Jinchuriki. After saying this, Shibuki took a complicated look at the Hookah who was still kneeling on the ground, and said sarcastically, Master, this is the last time I called you. You colluded with Cloud Shinobi and shot Taki Shinobi. I didn't expect it. Advertisement. But, now Takanen village is already a part of Konoha village. If you have the skills, you can do it on 5th Hokage. To shut up. Not to say it's okay. When I talk about the Hookah, I tremble with anger, and growl into anger, you villain, isn't it a good idea to give me the water of heroes? So I won't collude with Cloud Shinobi, and everything is your own responsibility. Single quote. Ha ha. Shamu smiled disdainfully, saying, "You don't deserve to get the water of heroes. It's really looking for death." Perhaps it was irritated, or perhaps there was something unbearable. The hookah stood up from the ground violently, and launched an attack on Shibumu with a thunderous speed. Joke. Now that the plan has failed altogether, come to a limit and change one. Shua 0.8. It is a pity that the ideal is full, but the reality is very skinny. Just when the hookah was about to launch an attack, a white light flashed from his neck. Why? The hookah's body stiffened slightly, and it stopped where it was, and opened his mouth. I wanted to say something, but didn't say anything. Monument. This is the sound of things falling on the ground. Under the attention of countless eyes, a blood stain appeared on the neck of the hookah, and his head fell straight to the ground. The time of the sack was blood rushing, and it was obviously that the dead could not die again. Chapter 162. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 164. Do it in front of me. After taking a look at the hookah that was spiked, Uchiha Ryujin shook his head expressionlessly. What else can you say? In fact, he did not intend to kill. But, hookah has to die, only to make him perfect. Gulu. Gulu hookah was killed in seconds. This traitor was also to blame for being killed. At the same time, looking at the dead hookah that couldn't die anymore, the ninjas of Takanen Village all showed excitement, and even more exasperated shook their fists. Special. The traitor must die. The hookah is a horrible thing, it's so good to die. It's all over. As for the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village, while desperate in their hearts, they completely lost the courage to resist. Even the sackcloth slumped to the ground. No way, things are developing now. No matter how unwilling she is, she has to admit that 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin has taken control of everything. Lord 5th Hokage, this is the heroic water of our Takanen Village. At this time, Takanen Village, the young leader Shibuki seemed to have thought of something. His eyes lit up, and he hurriedly took out a seal scroll from his arms, and said respectfully, since the Sengoku period, our Takanen Village will the collected hero water is sealed in the scroll, and now I pay tribute to Konoha Village. I only hope that Konoha Village can shelter our Takanen Village a little bit. No need. Advertisement. After hearing these words, Uchiha Ryujin raised his eyebrows and said in a low voice. The side effects of hero water are too great to be of much use to Konoha Village. You should keep the secret weapon of Takinoha Village. Of course, Uchiha Ryujin didn't say one more thing. That was when he signed in at Takanen Village and had already received a lot of hero water without side effects. So, for him, the heroic water with serious side effects in Takanen Village is basically useless. It is better to leave it to Takanen Village, so that Shibuki has a thought. Shamu was stunned for a moment, his eyes were filled with a ray of unbelievable color. It seemed that he didn't expect that 5th Hokage was actually not interested in the water of heroes. To know, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This is the water of heroes unique to Takanen Village. Although the side effects are great. But, for a long time, the major ninja villages have been coveting the water of heroes. Since he is willing to surrender, the ninja of Takanen Village can stand up. The voice hasn't fallen yet. I saw Uchiha Ryujin waved a little. Immediately after Shibuki and other ninjas in Takanen Village hadn't reacted yet, a slight movement of their body caused them to stand up uncontrollably. Yes, you read it right. The ninjas of Takanen Village couldn't help but stand up from the ground. How could it be possible? I really want to get stronger. Advertisement. More than just getting stronger, feeling the body has to be much easier. Soon, when the ninjas in Takanen Village reacted, the cheeks were filled with unbelievable colors, and there was an uproar. Because, at the moment of standing up, an invisible chakra poured into their bodies. Not only repaired the internal injuries they suffered, but also made their chakra more condensed and powerful to a certain extent. Lord 5th Hokage. After a while, I felt that I had become stronger again, and Shibumu's tears filled his eyes with excitement, and he arched his hands. Takanen Village surrendered to Konoha Village. This is the best choice I have made in my life. Okay. Uchiha Ryujin nodded lightly, and said indifferently, this is all trivial, surrendering to Konoha Village has many benefits. After saying this, Uchiha Ryujin's gaze turned to Azabuye and other Cloud Shinobi, although he did not speak. The invisible terror pressure made those Cloud Shinobi who were kneeling on the ground and paralyzed on the ground struck by lightning, as if their minds were hit hard, they began to vomit blood again, and their spirits became weakened. Cough. As if feeling invisible pressure, the two wooden golem who had fallen into a coma coughed violently and woke up all at once. 5th Hokage. After waking up, the two wooden golem carefully wiped the blood from the corners of their mouths, and their hearts were filled with wisps of despair. She knew very well that it was over, everything was over. If you don't know how to do it, you just stay in Takanen Village. After saying this, Advertisement. Uchiha Ryujin's eyes flashed with undisguised killing intent, and with a grip of his right hand, a black truth-seeking ball began to gradually condense in the palm of his hand. He would not show mercy to the enemy. Even if it is made of wooden golem and linen clothes, he can be able to destroy the flowers. Damn, 5th Hokage is going to kill. However, at the moment when truth-seeking ball 433 appeared, the two tails in wooden golem's body were frightened, and they said in a panic, that wooden golem, that is a truth-seeking ball that can only be used at 6 levels, so you surrender immediately, or you will be killed in seconds. Single quote. This wooden golem looked very tangled and hesitated. However, after taking a look at the unresisting cloud shinobi behind him, the two wooden golems still took a deep breath and said in a deep voice. Wait a minute, I surrender. Surrender. Uchiha Ryujin took a physical meal and glanced at wooden golem with interest, revealing a touch of contempt, saying, as Jinchuriki of Cloud Shinobi Village, do you really decide to surrender? That's right. Wooden golem squeezed both fists in a bit of pain. Although he was a little unwilling in his heart, he nodded cleanly, saying, your strength is too strong, and those who wish to lose. By wooden golem, you traitor. Hearing these words, the linen clothes that was lying on the ground constantly vomiting blood, as if returning to the light, roared grimly, no matter who the opponent is, the ninja of Cloud Shinobi Village will not surrender. Chapter 163. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 165 The Broken Raikage. No matter who the opponent is, the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village will not surrender. After saying this, Mabuyi's pretty face was ruthless, her silver teeth clenched, and she struggled to get up from the ground, as if she wanted to stand up and talk. However, it is a pity that Uchiha Ryujin didn't give Azabuyi any chance, go to hell. Accompanied by a very cold voice. With a wave of Uchiha Ryujin's right hand, a black kunai bombarded Mabuyi's body with lightning speed. Puff. This is the sound of Kui's body passing through you. Looking at a blood hole in my chest. The pupils of Kanbai's eyes shrank quickly, and opened his mouth. He wanted to say something, but he didn't say anything. Instead, he vomited a few big mouthfuls of blood, revealing an expression of incomparable regret. A misstep becomes an eternal hatred. This time, Cloud Shinobi Village's plan was completely defeated. She could even imagine that the 4th Raikage Master Yui would be anxious and frustrated after learning about it all. Of course, everything has nothing to do with her. Because she is dying. Boom. Next moment, a sound of falling to the ground sounded. Gunny's body fell heavily to the ground, and he couldn't die anymore. Quiet. A piece of dead silence. Looking at the linen clothes being killed in seconds. Those Cloud Shinobi who were kneeling on the ground and paralyzed on the ground all gave a miserable smile in despair, and their hearts were suffocated and helpless to the extreme. Advertisement. As Cloud Shinobi, how could they have been so insulted and despised? Well, facing the terrifying 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, they can only kneel on the ground and sing conquer without temper. Oh, why bother? Looking at the linen clothes that was killed by Spike. Wooden golem trembled in his heart, sighed silently, and closed his eyes in pain. As the saying goes, if you stay in the green hills without worrying about firewood, as long as you can live, you will still have a chance, and if you die, there will be no chance at all. We also surrender. 1. 5th Hokage. We surrendered. We surrendered. After a few seconds. Those Cloud Shinobi who knelt on the ground and slumped on the ground still made weak voices in the end. That's it. Listening to these surrender voices, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The ninjas of Takanen Village headed by Shibuki are all showing sarcasm. They think that the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village will survive to the end. Finally, the law of true fragrance is awesome. Even the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village were suppressed and surrendered. Wise choice. At this time, Uchiha Ryujin smiled indifferently, and then moved his mind, and the truth-seeking ball in his palm disappeared. The effect he wanted has been achieved, and then. It is the ninjas of Konoha Village who come to clean up the mess. As for how Cloud Shinobi Village will react, it's not what Uchiha Ryujin is worried about. Advertisement. To put it bluntly, with the comprehensive strength of Konoha Village today, Cloud Shinobi Village is no longer worthy of Konoha Village's effort and care. In short, after learning about what happened in Takinoha Village, 4th Raikage has nothing to do except incompetent and furious, unless he wants to be in front of Konoha Village. The next day, a piece of news. Under the initiative of Konoha Village. It swept through the entire ninja world at an extremely fast speed, causing the already turbulent ninja world to once again set off a stormy sea, which could not be calmed down at all. And the main content of the message. It's the rebels of Cloud Shinobi Village colluding with Takanen Village. I want to invade Takanen Village and take the Hero Water and Seven Tails Jinchuriki in Takanen Village. He was discovered by 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, and suppressed the two-tail Jinchuriki with a thunderous force. Wooden Golem and Seven Tails Jinchuriki Kaide, and also killed the high-rise linen of Cloud Shinobi Village, suppressed the invasion of Cloud Shinobi of Takinobi Village. Admit defeat. And out of gratitude to 5th Hokage, Shibuki, the young leader of Takanon Village, voluntarily announced his surrender to join Konoha Village. Boom. As soon as the news came out, the ninja world shook again. Countless ninjas showed expressions of extreme astonishment and disbelief. Obviously, they did not expect that Konoha Village would make a big move again. 5th Hokage suppressed 2 Tails Jinchuriki and 7 Tails Jinchuriki, and killed the high-level linen clothes of Cloud Shinobi Village. Does this completely miss Cloud Shinobi Village? Of course. Many caring people in the shinobi world. After learning that 5th Hokage had suppressed 2 Tails Jinchuriki and 7 Tails Jinchuriki, his scalp numb, and he couldn't help taking a breath. Because, after suppressing the 2-tailed Jinchuriki and 7 Tails Jinchuriki, plus 3 tails, 5 tails, 8 tails, 9 tails, unknowingly, Konoha Village already has 6-tailed beasts, plus Takinobu. The village surrendered to Konoha Village, thinking about it with extreme fear. The overall strength of Konoha Village seems to be getting stronger and stronger. For a while, the situation in the ninja world became turbulent again. And in this case, advertisement. The countless gazes of ninja world looked at Cloud Shinobi Village. Obviously, I want to know that in the second tail Jinchuriki was suppressed, Cloud Shinobi high-level linen. How would 4th Raikage Yui react after Yi was killed? Unfortunately, facing the attention of countless forces in the shinobi world, Cloud Shinobi Village is still as stable as an old dog, like a tortoise with a shrunken head. There is no reaction at all, and it seems that Jinchuriki and Mabuyi have not been taken to heart. This has left countless forces in the ninja realm disappointed for a while. Ninja World. Raikage office in Cloud Shinobi Village. Boom. Without any sign, a monstrous lightning-style check money carrot swept out, making the entire Cloud Shinobi Village tremble violently. Alas. It's too difficult. Our Cloud Shinobi Village is too difficult. 4th Raikage Yazuki I's chakra seems to be out of control again. This is already the 18th time out of control today, right? Perceiving this violent lightning-style chakra fluctuation, countless Cloud Shinobi Village Cloud Shinobi's cheeks were filled with bitter expressions, and he sighed helplessly. What else can you say about the pool? This time the operation against Takanon Village failed miserably. Once again, it gave Cloud Shinobi Village and 4th Raikage Master Yazuki I a heavy blow. Not only did the reputation of Cloud Shinobi Village be discredited, but 4th Raikage Yazuki I Shinshin was hit hard and was on the verge of collapse. Chapter 164. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 166 Madara's solicitation, 1 more kneels for subscription. What's more frustrating is that in the face of Konoha Village's face-riding mockery, Cloud Shinobi Village didn't dare to speak, and could only stay in Cloud Shinobi Village like a tortoise with its head down. It didn't even dare to breathe and was afraid of 5th Hokage. Uchiha Ryujin is in Cloud Shinobi Village. Ever since, in this situation, feeling aggrieved and uncomfortable has become the first feeling in the hearts of most ninjas in Cloud Shinobi Village. This also made 4th Raikage Yi Munai's lightning-style chakra indirect out of control, affecting the daily life of the entire Cloud Shinobi Village. At the same moment, when the entire Cloud Shinobi Village was plunged into a pessimistic atmosphere. In 4th Raikage's office, there are wisps of cracks visible to the naked eye on the desks, cups, floor, and even the walls. It is a mess. Why? Why is this happening? Konoha Village is really deceiving people too much. 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin doesn't talk about martial arts. 8 Tails Jinchuriki and Erwei Jinchuriki were both captured by Uchiha Ryujin. The overall strength of Konoha Village will once again be raised to a new level. The strength of Cloud Shinobi Village is getting weaker and weaker, it's too difficult. In the middle of 207 in the office, 4th Raikage Yui I's complexion was extremely hideous, his fists were clenched, the veins on his arms were exposed, and his sturdy body was trembling slightly. Angry. Very angry. Actually, for the hero water and 5 Tails Jinchuriki in Takanon Village. He was inevitable, but he didn't expect Konoha Village's 5th Hokage to get involved, which caused all plans to fall short. And when I think of the 2 being captured by Wooden Golem and the linen clothes killed, 4th Raikage always feels like stealing a chicken. Of course, anger is anger. 4th Raikage didn't lose his mind, and went to meet Konoha Village in a foolish manner. Advertisement. In a word, facing the new god of ninja Uchiha Ryujin. No matter what kind of ridicule and contempt, Cloud Shinobi Village can only endure it and need to endure it. Just be a turtle with a shrunken head. After all, now everyone hasn't torn their faces. There is still room for relaxation. Once 4th Raikage Yui again takes the lead in declaring war, it may hit 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin's arms and lead to an anti-general. By then, Cloud Shinobi Village will definitely be over. What should I do? I don't know how long it took for 4th Raikage's lightning-style chakra to gradually converge, and he was paralyzed on the only intact chair in the office. As Raikage, he can be regarded as having seen their respective complicated scenes, but in the face of this situation, he really doesn't know how to choose. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Obviously, Konoha Village has already started collecting tail beasts. Once 9. After the tail beasts are collected, the terrible consequences are unimaginable. And with the continuous enhancement of Konoha Village, Cloud Shinobi Village will fall into the decline of chronic death and be swallowed up by Konoha Village little by little. In short, the current Cloud Shinobi Village is in a dilemma, no matter which way you choose. Will fall into a situation where it will never be restored. In the end, 4th Raikage Yui Aikai sighed with a sullen face and muttered to himself, I am alone, let's take a step and take a step. But, advertisement. When I think of the 2-tailed Jinchuriki made from wooden golem, 8 tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee, and the high-rise linen of Cloud Shinobi Village. Somehow, 4th Raikage Yui I is a moment of uncomfortable wanting to cry, weak strength is the original sin. After all, he alone bears everything. Now, the high levels of Cloud Shinobi Village are almost killed by 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin. Thinking about it, it is a CBCH of heartache. He chuckle. At this moment, accompanied by a spiral wave of space, I saw the masked man Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara are like ghosts. Appeared in Raikage's office. Who is it? Seeing the 2 mysterious people suddenly appeared in front of me, 4th Raikage Yui I was shocked. The whole person stood up from the chair abruptly, and the lightning-style chakra body was constantly surging. Needless to say, 4th Raikage Yazuki I is in a state of battle. Too weak. After entering Raikage's office, the masked man Uchiha Obito hadn't spoken yet. Uchiha Madara couldn't help but said indifferently. Compared with 1st Raikage, your strength is really not enough. What did you say? After hearing this sentence, 4th Raikage Yui I's heart trembled, but his expression remained unchanged. He said coldly, do you dare to trespass into Cloud Shinobi Village? Do you want to die? 4th Raikage, do you have it too? The masked man Uchiha Obito pointed to Uchiha Madara and whispered, this is the legendary Uchiha Madara who is as famous as 1st Hokage Senju Hashirama. Advertisement. If you don't say it, it's amazing. After this sentence, 4th Raikage Yui Aishion was taken aback. Then he took a close look at the man wearing a black tight-fitting combat uniform with a red layered armor on the outside. Just started. 4th Raikage Yui I still has some unbelievable. Unfortunately, when he saw the flame fan behind Uchiha Madara and the pair of wheels. After looking back, as if thinking of something, he opened his eyes and revealed a hell-like look. Uchiha Madara. Is it really Uchiha Madara? He remembers Uchiha Madara died during the Sengoku period. Why is he still alive? He appeared in front of him alive, thinking about it with extreme fear, and in a short time, 4th Raikage Yui I had some chills, and deep in his heart was horror and fear to the extreme. Joke. Is this Uchiha Madara? As 4th Raikage, he certainly knows how awesome and terrifying Uchiha Madara, who was known to be as famous as Senju Hashirama, was in the Sengoku period. Boom. Maybe it was too horrified and scared. 4th Raikage Yazuki I took a few large steps back trembling, looking straight at Uchiha Madara's young cheeks, his expression fluctuating. Chapter 165. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 167 Raikage's Choice, second kneeling for subscription. Uchiha Madara is not dead yet. After so many years, he could still appear in front of him alive, which is a bit scary. Of course, 4th Raikage deserves to be 4th Raikage. After the initial shock and disbelief, he quickly calmed down. What do you want to do? After a while, 4th Raikage Yui took a deep breath, suppressed the throbbing in his heart, and said in a deep voice, Uchiha Madara, I don't know why you are not dead, but this is Cloud Shinobi Village, not what you want to come. Come, go where you want to go place. Presumptuous. Uchiha Madara shook his head disdainfully, and said lightly, for me, Cloud Shinobi Village is a public toilet. Come and leave if you want. You heard this sentence. 4th Raikage Yui looked angry, really want to vomit blood, there is nothing to say. If it weren't for the fear that the man in front of him is the legendary ninja Uchiha Madara, he would want to get rid of it in anger. It's so daring to say that Cloud Shinobi Village is a public toilet, it's just slap him in the face, not giving him face. Humph. In the face of some 4th Raikage Yui who wants to do something. Uchiha Madara snorted indifferently, and a pair of purple Rinnegan burst out with a pounding phosphorus shock wave. The speed swept out, and directly swept the entire Cloud Shinobi Village. This advertisement. Perceiving this terrifying pupil force shock wave, 4th Raikage Yui trembled, his eyes were startled, and his sturdy body froze in place. How can it be? What kind of power fluctuation is this, so terrible? It seems to come from the office of 4th Raikage Master Yui. At the same moment, the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village perceived this terrifying pupil power fluctuation. After the initial horror and disbelief, they all looked at the location of Raikage's office, and couldn't help making a terrible uproar. Among them, Cloud Shinobi from Anbu had already begun to surround Raikage's office. Joke. None of them are fools. This palpitating pupil power fluctuation came from Raikage's office. At first glance, someone invaded Raikage's office. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Wait a minute, stop. At this time, Raikage's office. 4th Raikage Yui perceives the scalp-numbing Rinnegan's impact, clenches his fists, gritted his teeth and said, "What on earth do you want to do? What are you doing?" When Uchiha Madara heard the words, he did not speak, but instead motioned to Uchiha Obito. Looking at Uchiha Madara who wants to pretend to be forced, the masked man Uchiha Obito, even though he has some discomfort in his heart, still said quietly, 4th Raikage Yui, it is your choice, surrender or die. The chuckle did not fall. Advertisement. 4th Raikage Yui was so angry that he couldn't help but vomit a big mouthful of blood. Surrender or death. How familiar is this sentence? He remembered that Uchiha Ryujin said this when the coalition forces of the 4 ninja villages faced 5th Hokage. Now someone said something like this. This made 4th Raikage Yui spit out blood while frustrated and helpless. Joke. As one of the 5 great ninja villages, has Cloud Shinobi Village ever been so humble? But 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin and the Uchiha Madara in front of them seemed to regard Cloud Shinobi Village as public toilets, saying these unscrupulous words wantonly. What are you guys trying to do? In the next moment, 4th Raikage Yui still has some unwilling words to say. Uchiha Madara, since you are not dead, you should deal with Konoha Village instead of trouble with Cloud Shinobi Village. Single quote. I'm doing a big thing that can affect the pattern of the ninja world. Uchiha Madara's eyes condensed slightly, and he said high up, this is not the best time to take action. After the layout is completed, it is the time to deal with 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin. Layout. 4th Raikage Yui subconsciously said, you also want to deal with 5th Hokage. It's right to ask for flowers. The masked man Uchiha Obito said coldly, the existence of this 5th Hokage has seriously affected our plan, so Uchiha Ryujin must die. I would like to cooperate with you to listen to this sentence. 4th Raikage Yui seems to have found a confidant, gritted his teeth and said, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is indeed damn. Single quote. Advertisement. That's it. Surrender. The masked man Uchiha Obito nodded very satisfied, saying, as long as Cloud Shinobi Village surrenders to us, defeats Konoha Village, and defeats 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, it is only a matter of time. Zero surrender. 4th Raikage Yui said very unwillingly, can't we cooperate with you in Cloud Shinobi Village? Cloud Shinobi Village, unworthy. After this sentence, the masked man Uchiha Obito did not speak, but Uchiha Madara spoke blankly. If Cloud Shinobi Village does not surrender, there is no need to exist. I will destroy Cloud Shinobi Village by myself. You. 4th Raikage Yui's expression changed rapidly, let's open her mouth. I wanted to say something, but didn't say anything. What else can you say? In fact, after he learned that Uchiha Madara was not dead and showed up on his own initiative, he knew that things were not as simple as he thought. Now it seems that Uchiha Madara is actually a man of wolf ambition. Make a choice. Uchiha Madara smiled coldly and said, my patience is limited. A little bit faster. The masked man Uchiha Obito also urged some impatiently. I am willing to surrender. 4th Raikage Yui has some tangled expressions. But, after thinking of the 2 men from Wooden Golem, 8 Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee, Linen and others, after all, he lowered his high head. Chapter 166. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 168 Oh Yemu Suffocation, 1 more kneels for subscription. No doubt. 4th Raikage Yazuki finally chose to surrender to the legendary ninja Uchiha Madara. No way. Who is 5th Hokage of Konoha Village? Uchiha Ryujin bullied too much. If it weren't for Konoha Village's damage to Cloud Shinobi Village too much, it would make Cloud Shinobi Village worse than a day. 4th Raikage Yui would not do this extreme choice. It is good. The masked man Uchiha Obito nodded slightly happily, and said, 4th Raikage, you should be thankful that you made a wise choice. After saying this sentence, Uchiha Obito has something incredible. In fact, in his opinion, 4th Raikage is also the leader of Cloud Shinobi Village anyway, and he will definitely resist. But did not expect. After getting to know Uchiha Madara's great reputation, surrendering without even thinking about it makes the masked man Uchiha Obito feel somewhat unreal. Can. Uchiha Madara's mouth curled up slightly and said in an unquestionable tone, since you have chosen to surrender, then you should accept my order. Okay. Advertisement. Fourth Raikage Yasuki. I nodded without hesitation. There is nothing to say, since he has made a choice, then he has only one way. When it comes to darkness, as long as he can make Konoha village pay the debts, he will not hesitate. Listen carefully. At the next moment, Uchiha Madara said surprisingly, I want the bodies of first Raikage, second Raikage, and third Raikage. What? Boom. After this sentence, in an instant, fourth Raikage Yui was dumbfounded. He thought of many possibilities, but he didn't expect Uchiha Madara to ask for the corpse of the successive Raikage of Cloud Shinobi village. This was undoubtedly deliberately embarrassing him and drawing his face. Uchiha Madara, are you playing with me? You want the corpses of first Raikage, second Raikage, third Raikage, just step on my corpse. Single quote. Even if I surrendered to you, I wouldn't do such a deceitful thing. After a few seconds, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Fourth Raikage Yui made 3 roars with a grim face, perhaps too angry. The lightning-style chakra in his whole body unexpectedly began to surging again, quite a feeling that he would fight to the end if he said nothing. Calm down. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Madara seemed to have expected it a long time ago and was not angry. Instead, he said casually, you will pay tribute to the bodies of first Raikage, second Raikage, and third Raikage. I will use the optimized impure world first reincarnation. Raikage, second Raikage, and third Raikage are resurrected. What? Fourth Raikage Yui was stunned, wondering, you are going to be resurrected. On behalf of Raikage, second Raikage, third Raikage. Yes it is. Advertisement. Uchiha Madara said lightly, this time, I will start a war that will spread to the entire ninja world. Understood. Fourth Raikage Yasuki took a deep look at Uchiha Madara and the masked man Uchiha Obito. After hesitating for a while, he nodded in amazement. He is not a fool. After learning that Uchiha Madara is going to resurrect first Raikage, second Raikage, third Raikage. He knew. Things are not as simple as imagined. Now it seems that Uchiha Madara is really a ruthless character. And when I think of first Raikage, second Raikage, and third Raikage to be resurrected, there is still a faint sense of excitement in fourth Raikage Yui's heart. As for digging ancestral graves to deceive the master and destroy the ancestors, that doesn't exist, and the true incense law works again. Konoha village, wait for me. Single quote. Fourth Raikage Yui gritted his teeth and muttered to himself, Fifth Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, this time I will not be merciful. Remember to prepare the body. Seeing the look of fourth Raikage, the masked man Uchiha Obito, who doesn't know what he is thinking, said in a low voice, we should go to Iwagakure to chat with Onoki. Got it. Fourth Raikage Yasuki's eyes lit up, showing a thoughtful look. Let's go. Uchiha Madara gave an order indifferently. Yes, Lord Uchiha Madara. Laugh. Accompanied by a spiral wave of space. Under the gaze of fourth Raikage Yasuki, the masked men Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara disappeared in Raikage's office. Advertisement. Call. Seeing Uchiha Madara leaving, fourth Raikage Yesui couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief, and then slumped on the ground with a relaxed expression. If you look closely, you will also find fourth Raikage Yui's back is unknowingly wet with sweat. Obviously, facing the legendary ninja Uchiha Madara, even fourth Raikage Yasuki felt tremendous pressure. At the same time, the Tsuchikage office in the central area of Iwagakure, alas. Third Tsuchikage Onoki hovered on the desk, looking at the latest information in his hand, he couldn't help sighing heavily. Konoha village is getting stronger. Fifth Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is becoming more and more unscrupulous and invincible in the world. This has caused Iwagakure's daily activities to be greatly affected, and the prestige in the ninja world is gradually declining, gradually becoming unavailable on the stage. Thinking of this, third Tsuchikage Onoki felt like he was dripping blood crazily in his heart, and he was helpless to the extreme. Lord Third Tsuchikage, what should we do? Konoha village also captured the Two Tails Jinchuriki and Seven Tails Jinchuriki after taking Takanon village into the bag. What exactly does 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin want to do? Looking at 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, the black soil, Lois, terracotta and other high-level Iwagakure in the office, the look is very ugly, and a few of them are vaguely discouraged. Chapter 167. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 169 Madara's strength. As for why I am discouraged. Of course it's because the strength of Konoha village is too terrifying and overwhelming. If it was said that the 4 major shinobi villages could be united again, but in the Konoha village, they swallowed Rain Shinobi Village, Taki Shinobi Village, and 2 Tails, 3 Tails, 5 Tails, 7 Tails, 8 Tails. After 9 Tails was in the bag. They all know that even if Iwagakure, Cloud Shinobi Village, Sunagakure, and Kirigakure are united, there is no chance. The stronger, the weaker, the weaker. This is an unchanging truth. As Konoha village becomes stronger, it will be like a snowball, becoming stronger and stronger again. Go find Four Tails Jinchuriki Laozi. I don't know how long it took. Third Tsuchikage Onoki seemed to have thought of something, and said in a deep voice, now Konoha Village has become a general trend, we can develop wretched development. Will Master Z get back? Heimyu hesitated for a moment, then took a look at Third Tsuchikage Onoki, and then cautiously said, are you not angry anymore? During the special period, why am I still angry? Third Tsuchikage Onoki couldn't help frowning, and added, Iwagakure is gone, so what do I care about so much? Oh, the black soil pouted and stopped talking. She is very clear about the grievances between Laozi and Third Tsuchikage. Now Third Tsuchikage takes the initiative to take the initiative. After she saw it, it was really true. It's the first time. Advertisement. As for the Lois, Terracotta and other high-level Iwagakure, it is wise not to say much. The situation in Iwagakure is now so severe. If Master Third Tsuchikage takes the initiative to be soft, it will allow Four Tails Jinchuriki to return, which can be regarded as a slight increase in Iwagakure's overall strength. Forget it, so be it. At the next moment, Third Tsuchikage Onogi sighed with a sullen expression, saying, Konoha Village has become a general trend. Fifth Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is invincible in the world, and we are still developing wretchedly. Yes, it is. Understood, Lord Third Tsuchikage. It can only be this way. Black Soil, Lois, Terracotta and other high-level Iwagakure, all showing a bit of bitterness, nodded indiscriminately. What else can I say? Things have developed to the present. What else can Iwagakure do besides taking one step at a time? Didn't you see that Konoha Village has extended its territory to the moon? I thought of this. Black Soil, Lois, Terracotta and other high-level Iwagakure are all frustrated and helpless to the extreme. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Shit. But, at this moment, accompanied by a spiral of spatial fluctuations, I saw the masked men Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara appeared in the Tsuchikage office. Who is it? Be careful, the enemy attack. Protect Third Tsuchikage Master Onoki. The moment I saw the masked men Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara, the Black Earth, Lois, Terracotta and other high-level Iwagakure looked surprised and immediately entered a state of battle. Bang. At this time, there is no sign. Advertisement. Third Tsuchikage Onoki may have been frightened, and his body fell from midair onto the desk, making a crashing sound. How is it possible? This familiar breath is impossible to perceive wrong. Why is this? Uchiha Madara is not dead yet. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Single quote dot. On the other hand, the unbelievable emotions of Onoki who fell on the table couldn't be suppressed at all, as if he had been stimulated. The look in Uchiha Madara's eyes was like seeing a ghost. Joke. Uchiha Madara is already dead. Why are you still alive now and still show up in his office? For a while. Onoki's heart was horrified to the extreme. Because, looking at Uchiha Madara's familiar and unfamiliar cheeks, he unconsciously thought of the fear and crushed despair once dominated by Uchiha Madara. Lord Third Tsuchikage. At this time, the Black Soil, Lois, Terracotta and other high-level Iwagakure were also dumbfounded. They also didn't expect that Lord Third Tsuchikage, who has always been honored and disgraced, would be so terribly frightened, which is simply incredible. Oh Nogi, long time no see. Uchiha Madara's indifferent eyes flashed with a ray of disdain, and she said lightly, after all these years, you are still so weak. Single quote. Bold. You are not allowed to say that, Lord Third Tsuchikage. Damn, you don't talk too much. Although knowing that the identity of the visitor is not simple, Iwagakure's senior officials could not help making angry voices. Noisy. After hearing these words, advertisement. Uchiha Madara drank coldly, The next moment. A terrifying fluctuation of pupil power swept from Uchiha Madara's Rinnegan, and thunderously suppressed the 780 Black Soil, Lois, Terracotta and other high-level Iwagakure. This imposing. Perceiving that unfathomable, impossibly coercive force, Black Soil, Lois, Terracotta, etc. Iwagakure's high levels were shocked. Lulu, for a time, only felt the inner buzzing sound, the mind was blank for a while. Puff. This is the sound of someone vomiting blood. I saw that the Black Soil, with a slightly weaker strength, was the first to be spit out a mouthful of blood by Rinnegan's invisible pupil power, and his body fell to the ground uncontrollably. Boom. And this seems to be a fuse. The Lois, Terracotta, etc. Iwagakure's high-level leaders trembled, and fell to the ground indiscriminately. So strong. Who are these two guys? The man's eyes seemed to be Rinnegan. The eyes of Sage of Six Paths Rinnegan is too scary. Soon, after being suppressed and thrown to the ground, the Lois, Terracotta and other Iwagakure's top officials finally reacted, and their expressions were all ashamed. Chapter 168. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 170. Too strong. The man in front of me is really too strong. Without even moving his hands, he used Rinnegan's terrifying power to suppress them abruptly. This feeling of powerlessness is simply desperate to the extreme. He saw this scene. The masked man Uchiha Obito snorted coldly, revealing a look of disdain. Joke. How powerful is Uchiha Madara, who owns Rinnegan and is at the peak of his youth? How can these ninjas who are like ants in front of them know? To put it bluntly, Uchiha Madara did not suppress everything unscrupulously, so Iwagakure's face was already given a lot of face. Uchiha Madara, you stop me. However, at this moment, Onoki seemed to have reacted, suppressing the fear in his heart, and suspended again. What? Is the man in front of you Uchiha Madara? The legendary ninja, Uchiha Madara, comparable to first Hokage Senju Hashirama. If you don't talk about Onoki, it's scary when you say it. It makes the black soil, loess, terracotta, etc., which are already on the ground, the hairs of Iwagakure's high-level staff suddenly rise, and they unexpectedly agree. Tong showed a look of extreme horror. Advertisement. No way. They thought of the various identities of the people who came over. I didn't expect that the man with Rinnegan in front of him was actually Uchiha Madara. Of course, it is also black soil. Huang Tu and others are too panicked. If you observe a little bit more carefully, you will find some clues. Oh Yemu, you are still the same. After hearing this sentence. As soon as Uchiha Madara's mind moved, Rinnegan's pupil power was reduced. Yun Danfeng shook his head lightly, and said coldly, after so many years of life, you are still so weak. It's really a waste of a spoon. You. Face Uchiha Madara again. Third Tsuchikage Onoki's expression changed a few times, and he opened his mouth, trying to refute something, but he didn't say anything. As Uchiha Madara said, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. After living for so many years, it seems that his strength really hasn't increased in any way. Are you already dead? The next moment, third Tsuchikage Onoki was silent for a while before taking a deep breath, and said, why are you still alive? What did Iwagakure want to do? I came to Iwagakure just to subdue you and let Iwagakure surrender to me. Uchiha Madara did not hesitate, and said simply, I have laid out for so many years, and the general trend is about to start a war that will affect the entire ninja world. What? Bang. Maybe some were scared. Third Tsuchikage Onoki's body trembled fiercely a few times, and the look in Uchiha Madara's eyes was full of confusion and shock. Wait a minute, you want to subdue me? Advertisement. A few seconds later, third Tsuchikage Onoki reacted afterwards, frowned, and said categorically, Uchiha Madara, don't be foolish, even if I die, I won't surrender to you. Besides, do you think that 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin will let you do whatever you want in the ninja world? When it comes to this, Onoki also added a little uncomfortable, the current 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is known as the new god of ninja, and he also defeated Impure World Reincarnation's first Hokage Senju Hashirama. In terms of strength, it may surpass you. The humming sound hasn't fallen yet. Uchiha Madara snorted and actively changed the subject, saying, surrender or die. When third Tsuchikage Onamu heard this, his expression was a little stiff, and he was a little speechless in an instant. He has seen shameless people. I have never seen anyone as shameless as Uchiha Madara. Oh Nogi, a little bit faster. At this time, Uchiha Obito, who hadn't spoken all the time, said impatiently, if you don't surrender, then Iwagakure will disappear from the ninja world. By the way, after we kill you, we will use Impure World Reincarnation to bring you back to life, which is considered waste use. Hearing this sentence, Onoki, who had been enduring it all the time, finally vomited a big mouthful of blood. Special. What is waste utilization? These two guys in front of you are simply deceiving people too much. As for the black soil, the yellow soil, and other senior officials of Iwagakure, they were completely speechless. Originally, they thought that the big deal would be death. Advertisement. But, if you die, you will be resurrected by Impure World Reincarnation, and will be controlled by Uchiha Madara. It's not as good as immortality. Onoki, if you surrender, we will also revive first Tsuchikage and second Tsuchikage in Impure World Reincarnation. Realizing that the heat is almost there, the masked man Uchiha Obito added slowly. What? Want to resurrect first Tsuchikage and second Tsuchikage? If first Tsuchikage and second Tsuchikage are really resurrected, then Iwagakure's overall strength must be raised by at least one level. Single quote. After this sentence, whether it was third Tsuchikage Onogi, Black Soil, Lois and other high-level Iwagakure, there was an uproar. It's good. Joke. If you can really bring first Tsuchikage and second Tsuchikage back to life, just think about it, it will make the ninja of Iwagakure excited. To know, is this first Tsuchikage and second Tsuchikage? When I think of this, my mouth. Surrender is still really fragrant. Okay again. After a few seconds. Third Tsuchikage Onogi took a deep breath and said solemnly, Uchiha Madara, we Iwagakure are willing to surrender to you. Let's work hard to defeat 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin and destroy Konoha Village. It is good. Uchiha Madara's mouth curled up slightly, and said calmly, a wise choice. Chapter 169. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 171 Kirigakure sign in guilt to subscribe. It is good. The corners of Uchiha Madara's mouth curled up slightly and said calmly, a wise choice. What? Anamu heard this, his cheek twitched slightly, and shook his head helplessly. In the past, he had no choice. After some elections, he can only choose to surrender to Uchiha Madara and use Uchiha Madara's power to defeat 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin. Remember to let Four Tails Jinchuriki return to Iwagakure. The next moment, Uchiha Madara took a deep breath and said in a low voice, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is collecting tail beasts, and Four Tails Jinchuriki must not be allowed to fall into the hands of Konoha Village. Single quote. Collect tail beasts. Onoki frowned and glanced at Uchiha Madara, revealing a puzzled look. That's right. Uchiha Madara's eyes were cold, and the cloud said lightly, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin wanted to collect 9-tailed beasts and resurrect the legendary 10 tails. 10 tails. This time, it's not just Oimu. Even the black soil, Lois and other high-rise buildings of Rock Shinobi Village are confused, FCK. What is 10 tails? Can I resurrect this thing called 10 tails after collecting 9 tails? Advertisement. This is incredible. 193 10 tails has the power to destroy the world. Uchiha Madara added indifferently, once 10 tails is resurrected, Konoha Village will basically be able to unify the world of ninja, and 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin will become an invincible existence. Bang. I don't understand anything else. But, I understand that 10 tails can make Uchiha Ryujin an invincible existence. Perhaps it was too horrified. Onoki's body trembled, and he fell to the ground in fright. Of course. Uchiha Madara actually didn't say a word. That is, the Gedo statue is still in his hands, so even if 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin collects 9 beasts, it is impossible to resurrect the legendary 10 tails. By the way, I forgot to tell you. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Seeing this scene, the masked man Uchiha Obito seemed to have thought of something, and added in a quiet voice, Cloud Shinobi Village has surrendered to us, 4th Raikage will pay tribute to the bodies of 1st Raikage, 2nd Raikage and 3rd Raikage. Sneer. After saying this, accompanied by a wave of spiral, CBFB, spiral fluctuations in space. The bodies of the masked men Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara disappeared inside the Tsuchikage office. Quiet. A piece of dead silence. After the masked men Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara left, the entire office couldn't help but fell into silence. Whether it was the 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi who fell to the ground, or the black soil, Lois and other high-level Iwagakure, they didn't seem to react. No way. Advertisement. It is really shocking what Uchiha Madara and the masked man Uchiha Obito said. One said that Konoha Village is going to resurrect the so-called 10 tails, and the other said that Cloud Shinobi Village has surrendered to Uchiha Madara. Doesn't that mean that Iwagakure is not the first ninja village to eat crabs? Thinking about it this way, the 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, Black Soil, Lois and other high-level Iwagakures are not so embarrassed and uncomfortable. By Jing, Iwagakure just did the same thing as Cloud Shinobi Village. I really didn't expect that even Cloud Shinobi Village would surrender to Uchiha Madara. Yeah, what exactly does this Uchiha Madara want to do? The ninja world is going to be turbulent again, and Konoha Village will be completely destroyed. We must not let Konoha Village resurrect 10 tails, and the speed will make Laozi return to Iwagakure. It didn't take long for the Black Earth, Lois and other high levels of Iwagakure to slowly stand up from the ground. They looked at each other, and each could see the color of determination in their respective eyes. Iwagakure will enter the fighting state again. At this time, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki took a deep breath, a ray of determination flashed in his eyes, and said coldly, even Uchiha Madara appeared, this time Konoha Village will undoubtedly lose, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin will definitely die without a burial place. Single quote. Therefore, we at Iwagakure must also be ready to go. After saying this sentence, 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki couldn't help but a ray of anticipation and excitement appeared in his heart. Once upon a time, he believes that Konoha Village is invulnerable and 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is invincible. But, now the appearance of the legendary ninja Uchiha Madara gave Onogi great self-confidence. He still doesn't believe it. With Uchiha Madara's blessing and layout, he can't beat 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin. I understand after hearing this sentence. Black Soil, Lois and other high-level Iwagakure nodded solemnly. Advertisement. At the same time, Ninja World, Kirigakure, above a giant tree. Worthy of being Kirigakure, shrouded in white mist all year round. Glancing at the ninja village shrouded in dense fog, Uchiha Ryujin shook his head, then urged observation haki, and felt the environment of Kirigakure a little bit. There is nothing to say, after leaving Takanen village. After arranging Tsunade's next work plan, he came to Kirigakure. As for why I came to Kirigakure, of course it was to sign in. After a few seconds, Uchiha Ryujin probably sensed Kirigakure. Then he ordered silently, the system, sign in at Kirigakure. 1 second, 10 seconds and 30 seconds. Finally, after 1 minute. The clear prompt sound of the system finally sounded. Ding. Congratulations to host, the sign in location Kirigakure is activated. Ding. Congratulations to host, congratulations to host, the sign in location refreshed by the system Kirigakure sign in successfully. Ding. Congratulations to the host for getting the power of yin and yang. Ding. The reward has been distributed to the system space, and the host can check it at any time. Because the strength of the host is too strong, once the power of yin and yang is accepted, it can be used directly without any side effects. Single quote. Chapter 170. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 172 Terumi Mei, begging to subscribe. Is it the power of yin and yang? Listen to the system's prompts. Uchiha Ryujin's mouth curled up slightly and smiled lightly. To be honest, he didn't even think about it. This time signing in will get the legendary power of yin and yang. Still in that sentence, the yin and yang attributes, the power of yin and yang, and the yin and yang escape technique are all different. Uchiha Ryujin has mastered the yin and yang attributes and the yin and yang escape technique. As for what the power of yin and yang is, in fact, it refers to Sage of Six Paths bestowed by Naruto and Sasuke, the ultimate sealing technique Six Paths Earth Burst, Stars. In the original work, Naruto's right palm received the sealing technique Yang Power, Sun, Sasuke's left palm gained the sealing technique Yin Power, Moon. System, I want to accept the power of yin and yang. The next moment, Uchiha Ryujin took a deep breath and ordered silently. Shit. After these words, there is no sign. 2 warm currents poured into Uchiha Ryujin's body. Immediately after that, before Uchiha Ryujin hadn't even reacted, a pattern of patterns appeared on his left hand, and a pattern of patterns appeared on his right hand for a month. Ding. Congratulations to host, you have perfected the power of yin and yang. This is over. Perceive the terror contained in my left and right hands. After measuring, Uchiha Ryujin smiled afterwards. FCK. Advertisement. Signing in to become stronger is really too simple, he seems to be stronger again. Ding. Congratulations to host, you have successfully checked in at Kirigakure. The next check-in location has been updated. Do you want to check it? Suddenly, at this moment, the system mechanical prompt sounded again. View. Uchiha Ryujin curled his lips lightly and gave a simple command. Ding, please check host, the next sign in location. Sunagakure, not activated. Sunagakure. Uchiha Ryujin nodded thoughtfully. He just wanted to go to Sunagakure to take one tail into his pocket. Now the system has updated Sunagakure as the sign-in point. Thinking about it, it's just a matter of heaven. Of course, now that I have come to Kirigakure, then, Uchiha Ryujin is definitely impossible to return empty-handed. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Thinking of this, the light in Uchiha Ryujin's eyes flashed away, and he looked in the direction of Kirigakure 5th Mizukage's office building. This time, if 5th Mizukage doesn't kneel and sing Conquest, it is impossible for him to leave Kirigakure. At the same moment, Kirigakure, the Mizukage building in the central area, inside the office of 5th Mizukage. Master Mizukage, Takanen village has surrendered to Konoha village. Konoha village is now invincible in the world. 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is simply terrifying. 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is supposed to want to unify the world of ninja. We must come up with policies and methods to deal with it. Single quote. I saw Kirigakure's senior leaders headed by Ao, Chojuro and others, their expressions were very dignified, and even a few of the senior leaders had some tremors in their voices. Advertisement. No way. It is true that Kirigakure has weakened a lot after experiencing the blood fog period. Originally thinking of taking advantage of the killing of Konoha F4, and the other 3 ninja villages jointly attacked Konoha village, but was hit by an unprecedented blow, even Kirigakure's elder Yuenshi was tortured and killed. So that when Kirigakure's ninja now hears the name of 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin, I couldn't help feeling shocked, and my heart was panicked and criticized. Hey, after hearing these words, Terumi Mei blinked involuntarily, her pretty face filled with helplessness, and then she sighed heavily. As a 5th Mizukage to catch the ducks, facing the current dilemma of Kirigakure, apart from helplessness, it was a while. Aggrieved. To be honest, Terumi Mei is not interested in the so-called position of Mizukage, but after the elder Yuenshi was killed by 5th Hokage, in order to avoid Kurigakure from falling into civil strife, she could only take the lead and was forced to sit on the position of 5th Mizukage. It's good now. Konoha Village made it clear to unify the world of ninja. 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin's ambitions are also revealed, begging for flowers 0. This makes 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei's heart tangled and at a loss. Listening to Terumi Mei's sigh, ow, Chojuro and other Kurigakure executives lowered their heads indiscriminately. Joke. The weak have no say. Advertisement. Kurigakure's strength is weak, so it can only be like a salted fish, lying on the chopping board and letting it be killed by Konoha Village. Let's take a step and take a look. I don't know how long it has been. 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, Konoha Village wants to unify the world of ninja, we Kurigakure will not give in easily. Master Mizukage, or we will give in. The voice just fell. The patriarch of the Ghost Lamp clan couldn't help but say something. That's right, I agree. Konoha Village is now invincible, and 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is even more terrifying. Therefore, surrendering actively is more honorable than surrendering and surrendering. Konoha Village has become a general trend. Kurigakure can only adapt to the tide of the times and succumb to 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin. With the beginning of the patriarch of the Ghost Lamp clan. After the remaining Kurigakure executives glanced at each other, they all uttered their own voices. The meaning of the expression was very simple, that is, surrender to Konoha Village and enjoy the treatment of the Konglong minister as soon as possible. You guys. When Terumi Mei heard this, her expression was a little stiff, and she wanted to vomit blood in her heart. Special. If the guys in front of her were all senior members of Kurigakure, she would have thought. These guys are from Konoha Village. Still actively surrendering to Konoha Village is simply a shame to the extreme. But Konoha Village is so strong. 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is so handsome and proactively surrendered. It doesn't seem to be shameful, but it is really fragrant. Chapter 171. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 173 Kurigakure Surrender. Of course, I think so. 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei will not speak out actively. After all, her proposal and her initiative to speak out are completely two different concepts. What's more, as Mizukage, she also has to be reserved and want to maintain her majesty. So, in this case, 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei deliberately showed a look of embarrassment, and said with some entanglement, we Kurigakure is also one of the 5 ninja villages at any rate, so surrender, is it too embarrassing and will laugh generously. Not ashamed. Hearing this, the patriarch of the Ghost Lantern clan panicked in his heart and hurriedly said, the person who knows the time is a good man, Konoha Village is so strong, 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is so powerful, we Kurigakure is the most wise. Select. Yes, we Kurigakure do things, so why not care about other people's thoughts? Lord 5th Mizukage, as one of the 5 ninja villages, we Kurigakure should be the first to set an example and surrender to Konoha Village. The early bird catches the worm, and it's time for us Kurigakure to make a choice. When the patriarch of the Ghost Lamp clan spoke up, Kurigakure's senior leaders such as Ao, Chojuro, etc., after a little hesitation, all made urgent voices. The meaning is very simple, that is Kurigakure surrendered to Konoha. The village is a very wise choice. Not to mention. Advertisement. There is nothing wrong with joining if you can't beat it. Terumi Mei was speechless again. What's so special? She just wanted to get rid of it. These Kurigakure high levels went straight to Konoha Village, as if they wanted to live in Konoha Village and die as the ghost of Konoha Village. But I can't figure it out because I can't figure it out. But Terumi Mei is still able to understand these Kurigakure high levels. Again, the current Konoha Village is too powerful, and 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin is too unsolvable. This makes Kurigakure, one of the 5 great 9th villages, nowhere. Have to choose. Fine. Finally, after a few minutes, Terumi Mei took a deep breath and said in a deep voice. I will contact the senior management of Konoha Village to express surrender to Konoha Village. Single quote. Phew. After saying this, Terumi Mei couldn't help but shook her head, and a rock deep in her heart was considered to have fallen to the ground. Yes, Lord 5th Mizukage. Yes, Lord 5th Mizukage. Yes, Lord 5th Mizukage. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. As for Changjuro, the patriarch of the Ghost Lantern clan, and others, with a slight joy on their faces, they nodded hurriedly. They are very clear. Once Kurigakure hugged Konoha Village's thigh, a lot of things will be easily solved, Kurigakure will be flat, and the overall strength will be greatly increased. Good, very good, excellent. Suddenly, at this moment, a quiet and breezy voice sounded. At the moment Terumi Mei, Ao, and Chojuro hadn't even reacted, the door of the office was opened, and Uchiha Ryujin, wearing a Hokage Goshin's robe, flashed his body and appeared in the office. Advertisement. Quiet. A piece of dead silence. Looking at the 5th Hokage Uchiha Ryujin in front of me. 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei, Ao, Chojuro, the patriarch of the Ghost Lantern clan, and others were all shocked, seemingly unresponsive. Ah, after a while, 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei exclaimed first. Perhaps it was too scared. Terumi Mei, who was sitting there, stood up from the chair and looked at Uchiha Ryujin, just like seeing a ghost. What a joke. They are discussing 5th Hokage, the result. Uchiha Ryujin appeared in the office. Is this a frightening rhythm? You know, the current 5th Hokage is an invincible existence in the world of ninja, and everyone knows the wolf ambition to unify the world of ninja. 5th generation item. 5th Hokage. No way. That man actually came to Kirigakure. As for Changjuro, the patriarch of the Ghost Lamp clan, and others, they are not much better. After shaking for a few times, they all made an exclamation in random order. No way, no one thought. 5th Hokage will appear in vain, which is terrible. What do you want to do? Soon, 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei took the lead in reacting, plucking up courage, gritted her silver teeth, and said in a deep voice, Kirigakure and Konoha village are not the water of the river. I don't want to do anything. Seeing Terumi Mei, whose body was trembling slightly, Uchiha Ryujin shrugged indifferently, and said lightly, just boring, so he went to the Mizukage office to have fun. Single quote. Advertisement. Okay. In fact, Uchiha Ryujin himself didn't even think that the top of Kirigakure. I actually want to surrender to Konoha village. More importantly, 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei seems to agree with Kirigakure joining Konoha village. This made Uchiha Ryujin something he didn't expect. Play for fun. Terumi Mei's pretty face twitched slightly, and opened her mouth to say what, but found that he has no courage to speak, and his heart rashes panic. Monument. This is the sound of someone falling to the ground. I saw a Kirigakure executive. Perhaps I was too excited to see 5th Hokage. His body was frightened by 3.7, and he collapsed on the ground. Lord 5th Hokage. Looking at the Kirigakure high level who fell on the ground, the patriarch of the Ghost Lantern clan panicked and knelt on one knee first, and cautiously said, we are discussing how to surrender to Konoha village. We Kirigakure are willing to surrender to Konoha village. The current Konoha village is worthy of our Kirigakure surrender. 5th Hokage will definitely lead the shinobi world to a new era. At the next moment, Ao, Chojuro and other Kirigakure's high-level officials, kneeling on one knee in no particular order, said something very respectfully. Chapter 172. Previous chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 174 Unification of Ninja World, start with Kirigakure seeking subscription. It is good. Hearing these words, Uchiha Ryujin's mouth curled up slightly, and he nodded very satisfied, and said in a deep voice, very good, very good. The person who knows the current affairs is the best, and Kirigakure made the best choice. Single quote. Call. Lord 5th Hokage, we have long wanted to surrender you. That's right, Uchiha Ryujin-sama, our admiration for you is like a continuous river, especially after seeing you up close, it is even more out of control. When Ao, Chojuro and other Kirigakure executives heard the words, when they relaxed and exaggerated, they made a series of slightly surprised sounds in no particular order. What else can you say? Since Lord 5th Hokage has said so, Kirigakure's submission to Konoha village must be stable. 5th Mizukage, how about you? At the next moment, Uchiha Ryujin seemed to have thought of something, and he glanced at Terumi Mei with a smile on his face. The expression was very simple. It's up to you to make the final choice. 21 Kirigakure's future is just between your thoughts. Perceiving Uchiha Ryujin's gaze, 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei's expression changed a few times, and her heart was speechless to the extreme. In fact, she still wanted to hold back a few more times. As a result, Kirigakure did not succeed. The high level who was more than defeated had almost given up without any resistance. She was so angry that she wanted to vomit blood. If it weren't for her good self-cultivation. Advertisement. Everyone wanted to scold Chojuro and other Kirigakure executives. However, it's done. Terumi Mei didn't think much anymore, and nodded neatly, saying, the opinion of Miss Shinobi's senior management is my opinion, so Kirigakure is willing to surrender to Konoha village. Single quote. Yes, the voice is not over. Uchiha Ryujin was in a great mood and said generously, as a reward for surrendering to Konoha village, these heroic waters without side effects will be given to Kirigakure, as a meeting gift. After saying these words, accompanied by a few piercing voices, dozens of bottles of hero's water appeared on Terumi Mei's desk. Yes, you read it right. Not a few bottles, but dozens of bottles of hero's water. Quiet. A piece of dead still. Capsule time. Mizukage's office fell into silence. No way. No one thought that 5th Hokage would take such a big shot. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Fang, gave so many heroic waters without hesitation, and more importantly, these heroic waters have not had any side effects. As for the water of heroes, Kirigakure's executives also know. The water of the hero is from Taki Village, which can increase the chakra of the ninja dozens of times. However, the water of the hero has the duality of making the scalp numb. As the price of chakra, it will swallow the life of the user. Therefore, the water of the hero is after being sealed up, the major ninja villages did not show much interest in the water of heroes. As a result, the hero water given by 5th Hokage has no side effects. It's very scary to think carefully, this is a little scary. The heroic water seemed to become fragrant all at once. 5th Hokage. After a while, 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei's beautiful eyes condensed, and he said in a somewhat unbelievable way, these heroic waters really have no side effects. Advertisement. There are definitely no side effects. Uchiha Ryujin raised his brows, shrugged his shoulders indifferently, and said calmly, as 5th Hokage, I still disdain to lie to you on such small things. What? I got the affirmative answer. 5th Mizukage Torumi's eyes lit up, just like a money fan, screaming and holding the bottle on the table in his arms, muttering to himself, it's all mine, these have no side effects, all of the heroic waters belong to Kirigakure. Lord 5th Hokage, you are really generous. Single quote. Ha ha ha, it seems that surrendering to Konoha village is a wise choice. With these heroic waters without side effects, our Kirigakure's overall strength will rise to a new level. It is more than 1 grade, at least 2 grades. Seeing this scene, the Kirigakure executives, led by Ao and Chojuro, couldn't help but sighed and sighed. It was obvious that they were shocked by the water of heroes without side effects. Joke. Originally, everyone was only afraid of the strength of 5th Hokage and surrendered to Konoha village. It's good now. Under the generous gift of 5th Hokage, the Kirigakure executives, headed by Ao and Chojuro, are already convinced. There is only one thought in their heart, 5th Hokage is awesome. All right. At this time, Uchiha Ryujin didn't care about that much, and ordered Terumi Mei to announce that this news is destined to detonate the ninja world. Advertisement. Understand. Terumi Mei looked straight, and nodded neatly. Okay. A gleam of light flashed in Uchiha Ryujin's eyes, and he muttered to himself that the unification of the ninja world begins with Kirigakure. The next day, 483 showed no signs. A piece of news swept through the entire Shinobu at a speed that could not cover the ears. World. It made countless ninjas and ninja villages, while their expressions were horrified, their scalp numb was unbelievable. As for the specific content of the news, Kirigakure, one of the 5 ninja villages, took the initiative to express surrender to Konoha village, and 5th Mizukage also showed love to 5th Hokage from the air. As soon as the news came out, the ninja world rioted in an instant, shocked, extremely shocked, no one thought. As one of the 5 ninja villages, Kirigakure would surrender to Konoha village so simply and neatly. This undoubtedly made countless ninjas shocked, slapped countless ninjas in the face, affected by this. The whole ninja world was changing again. Of course, Sunagakure, Cloud Shinobi Village, and Iwagakure, one of the 5 great shinobi villages, are undoubtedly more shocking. Among them, Sunagakure has nothing, but Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village have some confusion. They just surrendered to Uchiha Madara, and Kirigakure surrendered to Konoha village. This time is too coincidental. P.S. Please give me a reward, collection, flowers and evaluation. Thanks for the new author.